England and Pakistan. It's England's final white ball game of the summer, and it's a decider after Pakistan won at Trent Bridge and then England won at Headingley. We've crossed the Pennines. There are blue skies over Manchester. There is a great crowd in here as well, and they are looking forward to a really thrilling evening of cricket. Alongside me in the commentary box, Atif Nawaz, who is going to be part of our commentary team. Atif, good evening to you. And I should say as well, Eid Mubarak, because it is Eid, and so that's going to create even more of a carnival atmosphere among the Pakistan fans here.
Celebrating out there, yeah, it will be a phenomenal carnival atmosphere. There's already so much noise here at Old Trafford. It is noisy. There's a festive atmosphere. It feels like some kind of festival here at Emirates Old Trafford. It's already looking very, very busy. I'm expecting a great atmosphere if nothing else, but we'll have a cracking game as well. As the perfect stage for deciding T20 International.
Absolutely. Also with us is James Anderson. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Are you home ground?
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Beautiful,
it's always like this in Manchester, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Sun's always out. There's always an electric atmosphere around this place.
Yeah, do you know, there was something, I was a bit late getting here for a variety of reasons which I won't bore you with, but as I was fighting my way through the crowds, walking around the concourse here, I was thinking of all the weeks that we spent here last summer. It bubbled up, you know, you, Jimmy, when you were playing, Atif, you and I commentating as well, and isn't it incredible to have fans here, just to have that buzz, that atmosphere, that sense of a big occasion?
Yeah, it's great. I think especially the players feel that for sure. Having spent that time on the field, playing in front of absolutely nobody, I think it really makes you appreciate it when you've got those fans there. And tonight, we've not even seen a ball bowled yet, and the atmosphere's already building. You can feel the excitement amongst both sets of fans. There's a lot on the line with it being a decider as well, so hopefully it'll be a great night.
News of the toss is that Pakistan have won the toss. They will bat first. We'll hear from the captains in just a second. But Atif, what do you think Babar Azam will have taken from what happened in the two games in this series so far?
Well, they've won the game they batted first in, so I think that's what he wants to do here. There was a lot of criticism for winning the toss and batting second in the previous game. And, you know, I think they took it on the chin. I mean, there was a lot of analysis behind it. There was some justification to it. Pakistan have a very good record chasing, but not so much in England. It may have been, you know, we're 1-0 up in the series. Let's experiment a little bit. Let's see what we can do from a position of weakness. But again, England was so strong, particularly with their spin bowling in the middle of that innings, that really just kind of snuffed the life out of Pakistan's batting order. They'll want to put on a big total here. They know it's a very, very good pitch. The weather is beautiful, as we've already said, but they've also got to leave that lasting impression on the Pakistani media's mind as well. It's very, very cutthroat. Azam Khan not making the team today. He's only played 2 games and he's barely had a hit. So they've gone for a stronger bowling attack today, another bowling option in their team too. So I think for them, they're going into play against a strong West Indies team in just over a week's time. They want to take with them a win against, you know, one of the best teams in the world, England. That'll give them a lot of momentum.
And England, in the meantime, Jimmy, want to establish themselves firmly in the minds of everybody. This is the final T20 that they will play before the World Cup later this year, or certainly until the teams are announced, or the squad is finalised for that T20 World Cup. So Eoin Morgan is back, David Willey is back, replacing Matt Parkinson and Tom Curran, respectively. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think Eoin Morgan said at the start of the series he wanted to have a look at a few players, maybe change the team just to try and get a sort of feel for who he's going to want in that squad in the winter for the World Cup. So I'm not surprised he's made those changes again. Shame for Matt Parkinson. He's bowled so well, I think, through this white ball summer, and not to get a game at his home ground, I think, will be a big disappointment for him. But nevertheless, David Willey comes back, who's been putting a good showing this summer so far. And I think it's a good team. It's going to be a good pitch, as Atif said, and I'm just hopeful of a great game for what is going to be a huge crowd.
Well, let's hear from the captains. Pakistan winning the toss and opting to bat first. We'll hear from both the captains, starting with Babar Azam.
The 2 captains are out there with the match referee. Gentlemen, please flip that coin. Pakistan has won the toss. Babar, what have you decided today?
We are batting first.
So So Pakistan is batting first. Babar, series at 1-1. I mean, what's been your message as a captain to the boys today?
Messages are simple. Go and win the match.
Right, that's perhaps what the Pakistan fans here want. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of partnerships between you and Rizwan at the top. Do you think that middle order perhaps needs to step up and get in amongst the runs as well?
They did well. They did well in the first match, but unfortunately they did not well in second match. We are looking forward this match.
What about the team? Any changes at all?
We have two change. Usman Qadir in and Hasan is back.
All right, thank you so much and good luck. Owen, a great win, that last one. Everybody chipping in, especially the spinners. Must be feeling confident as a side coming into this one.
Yeah, fantastic performance at Headingley. I thought, given the performance previously at Nottingham, there were a number of corrections within our side and improvements. More of an all-round performance from our team, which is fantastic to see. You know, when you got down 1-0 in a series, to equal it and make today a decider, you know, a huge amount of character is needed when that happens.
Now, we saw 11 overs of spin in that previous game. I mean, do you think this wicket is perhaps going to be conducive for the spinners as well?
Here, I think at Old Trafford over a number of years it has taken spin and some reverse swing. It's certainly a unique ground that we play in our own country. It is a great challenge for us always playing here. We absolutely love playing here, and tonight is no different. You know, it's as close as we get to playing in a World Cup game, playing in a must-win, series on the line type match.
What about your team? Any changes at all?
Yeah, we've made a couple of changes. Curran and Parkinson miss out, and myself and Dave Willey come in.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. Good luck with this one. And that is the news from the centre, that Pakistan have won the toss and they have decided to bat first.
So the two teams, let's give you them in full. England have Jason Roy and Jos Buttler opening, followed by Dawid Malan, Jonny Bairstow, Moeen Ali, Eoin Morgan, the captain, returning. Then Liam Livingstone batting all the way down at number 7. Chris Jordan at 8, David Willey, and then Adil, Rashid and Saqib Mahmood. And from the Pakistan point of view, Babar Azam, the captain, opens with Mohammad Rizwan, then Sohaib Maqsood, Mohammad Hafeez at 4, Fakhar Zaman goes in at 5, then Shadab Khan, Imad Wasim is at 7, Hasan Ali 8, Shaheen Shah Afridi at 9, Usman Qadir at 10, and Mohammad Hasnain at 11. Jimmy, quick look at the England team first of all. Liam Livingstone, we've mentioned batting all the way down at 7. I mean, that is proof of how strong England are all the way down when you think about the way he cleared the rugby stand at Headingley the other day. Yeah,
definitely. I think it feels quite cramped at the top of that order. There's a lot of players to get in when you've got Roy, Buttler, Bairstow, Malan in that top 4. Then you've got Moeen Ali, Eoin Morgan and Liam Livingstone to then follow that. And it'd be interesting to see what order they come in. I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Livingstone actually comes up a bit higher. He might come in at number 5, depending on the start that England get. But it just shows how strong they are and how deep they can bat when you've got options like that. And I think another thing we might see tonight with regard to Liam Livingstone is his leg spin. Eoin Morgan touched on there at the toss that this pitch does usually take spin, and with Parkinson missing out, that then gives another opportunity potentially to see more from Moeen Ali with the ball and Liam Livingstone's leg spin, which I think for me is another reason why he will make that World Cup squad.
And it has been very exciting, Atif, hasn't it? Seeing the leg spinners, the two leg spinners working, very different bowlers, aren't they? Adil Rashid and Matt Parkinson bowling so well together at Headingley. And then Pakistan going for the leggy for this game as well.
Yeah, Usman Qadir coming in for Pakistan. I mean, I think they were paying close attention to what Parkinson and Adil Rashid were doing in tandem. That different style of leg spinners, as Jimmy was saying earlier as well. You know, more through one a slower leg spinner, more through the air, and one a little bit quicker. And that's kind of reflected in Pakistan. Shadab, who bowls it a little bit fuller, maybe slightly defensive leg spin bowling, but Usman Qadir, who's a traditional, who lives up to his father's name, a very attacking leg spin bowler who turns the ball sharply, gives the ball plenty of air and drift. So they've gone for that, but it is a bit of a gamble for Pakistan because they've brought in 2 bowlers and they've let go of Azam Khan, who was playing as a specialist batter. So slightly longer tail for Pakistan. They're really banking on that top order to get them runs here today.
Isn't it great to see the temporary stand over to the left full of people, the party stand as it's called, and also just the crowds coming in now, all just pouring down the Talbot Road to get here as well to this ground on a night when the skies are blue, the floodlights are on, the flags are fluttering, so just a little bit of a breeze after a baking hot day up here in the northwest. If only cricket was always like this, if only T20 cricket was always like this on a gorgeous evening.
It is, isn't it? I think days like this make you believe that it is. It's always like that. I think. But
this has been a treat. I think this T20 series, because the series against Sri Lanka was disappointing, but just the last few games we've had have just been joyful, I think.
Yeah, they really have, and I think from an England point of view, leading into that World Cup, it's what they needed as well. That Sri Lanka series didn't really do them any favours. I think it was quite an easy series for them. They didn't get out of second gear. I think what this Pakistan 3 matches against Pakistan is going to do for them is it's a test. It's a huge test. 2 really strong T20 sides. Pakistan up there with they're number 4 in the rankings, but for me, they've got the talent to certainly go all the way in the World Cup. And it's been a good test for England. It really, you need that sort of test of not just your skills but the character as well. When you first game they've lost, let's see how they bounce back from the loss at Headingley last game, because it's important that they get some momentum going into that into the World Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they bring some star value as well, the Pakistani team. They've got these superstar players. I mean, Jimmy Anderson, you called Babar Azam the best T20 batter in the world in the last match, and that was quoted by basically every media outlet in Pakistan, because obviously, there's high praise coming from someone of yourself, but also it's just this recognition that I feel like Pakistani cricket sometimes feels like it doesn't get. This is a guy who's put in some strong performances over and over again, and finally getting some recognition.
Yeah, listen to the atmosphere as the flares go off and the horns blow, and it's a sunny evening in Manchester, and you're listening to Test Match Special, full commentary of this final T20 international between England and Pakistan. And alongside James Anderson will shortly be Charles Dagnall when he gets himself plugged in. Daggers, what a night this is for a deciding game in the series.
Well, it certainly is. Thank you very much, Eleanor. 26,000 people here, and that one stand, the big open stand to our left-hand side as we look out from the Statham end, 8,000 jammed into there, open air and awash with colours is Old Trafford, the most important being the brilliant blue that we see above us. The floodlights are on in arguably the largest waste of power in the history of mankind, because it is glorious out there. Beautiful setting, and what a way to decide this T20 international series between England and Pakistan. Pakistan winning the toss, electing to bat first. 2 changes to the Pakistan side. They've brought in Usman Khadir for Azam Khan. Hassan Ali returns for Haris Rauf. As for England, arguably their strongest side, with Eoin Morgan coming back in for Tom Curran and David Willey for Matt Parkinson. So they're the 2 sides that take the field out in front of us. There's lots and lots of people on the point building over to the left as we look out at the pavilion, just to the left hand side of that, in this big red postbox shape. People lining the balcony, leaning over it, drink in hand, soaking up a little bit of sunshine. And over on the hotel side to our right of the pavilion, St George's flags draped across the balconies there. Everybody in situ enjoying this fabulous weather here in Manchester. We're almost ready to get underway. David Willey it is, with ball in hand from the Statham end, shirt untucked, with one slip in place. They could do with really making a bit more noise around here. It's astonishing. First ball to be bowled on, third man and a deep square in place. The first delivery from David Willey is defended by Mohammad Rizwan out into the offside, and there is no run. So Rizwan and Babar Azam, who have been prolific in this T20 series. James, good evening to you.
Good evening, Charles.
Great to have you on board. What better could it be? Old Trafford, 2 Burnley boys on commentary, double Burnley to start things off.
Glorious.
I should be teaching that in the school curriculum. After maths and English, double Burnley. Here's Willey striding away from us, bowls, and this is just dabbed away down towards third man for a single. Pakistan's first run, which brings with it a cacophony of sound around the ground. There are pockets of Pakistan supporters around them, making an enormous amount of noise, that are washed with green in their jerseys, their team's colours, Pakistan flags around as well, waving at every opportunity. Noisemakers, vuvuzelas blaring out. Fabulous, absolutely perfect on this Tuesday evening as Willey starts his run up and stops. Babar Azam not quite ready. I think we're going to have heroes and villains in the crowd today. Lots of pantomime out there. Umpire Milnes it is at this end, all in black. As Willey sets off once more over the wicket he bowls, and it's a good length, just defended out into the offside by Babar Azam. There is no run, and this fresh pitch looks an absolute belter from distance, straw coloured, and you would expect, after what we've had at Trent Bridge and Headingley, more of the same.
I think so, yeah. Usually the T20 pitches here are fantastic. They do take some spin. They can spin later in the game, and especially with the heat we've had over recent days, I imagine it will be actually quite dry.
Willey past a huge orange marker at the end of his run, gets flicked away by Babar Azam. Short fine leg, a shy at the stumps by Adil Rashid, but Babar was home. But a yard either side might have whistled away to the boundary. Also, the dimension, short straight both sides, but quite a lot of room square of the wicket.
Yeah, it's not the shortest straight. Headingley was much shorter straight down the ground. It is quite a big field, but yeah, generally the pockets are the deep mid wickets and the third man's where you can get your ones and twos.
You can start to see parts of the outfield actually being scorched into a brown colour as Willey bowls back of a length and defended. Awkward bobbling ball for Jason Roy is unfortunate because there's a really dirty wicket end that is in front of him. Lots of debris and crevices for the ball to skip off and make it awkward for the backward point fielder, and that's caused him a problem. A single is collected, 2 without loss. 5 pitches over. Pitches here, the square looks quite barren. Lots of cricket having been played here as Willey moves away from us, and this has been taken on a glove. Is it going to be caught? Buttler takes the catch. Is it the end of Mohammad Rizwan? Has he got a bit of glove, a bit of thigh pad? Rizwan's not for going as yet. England come together, they're not quite sure, and I just wonder if that's a bit of thigh pad, and it's signalled a leg by in the end. So no bat or glove in the opinion of umpire Milnes, and it's the end of a good first over from England. 3 coming from it. Pakistan 3 without loss.
Yeah, good decision there, both from the umpire and Eoin Morgan not to review that. It's come off just thigh pad. Good catch by Jos Buttler, made up some good ground. Diving catch, but not to be. And just talking about the square, we've come from 2 grounds where the square pretty much goes from edge of the field to edge of the field, and here at Old Trafford it's probably one of the smallest in the country. That's why you're seeing a lot of barren wickets, because they're used so much. We have used them, you know, I've been bowling on them in recent days. Even yesterday came in for a bowl, so that's why you've got there's only I think 16 pitches on the square, so they do use them quite a bit.
Saqib Mahmood then from your end, the James Anderson end, comes towards us with a slip in place to bowl the second over. Half an appeal for LBW as Mohammad Rizwan advanced down the pitch, and there is no run. Just on that then, you generally don't see a huge amount of reverse swing in T20 cricket. There's not time for it to develop, but with the rough surface of the square, is that an outside possibility?
Yeah, I'd say an outside possibility. It's difficult you've only got 20 overs to try and manufacture some reverse swing, and the barer wickets are sort of a bit too far away from this wicket they're playing on.
Saqib bowls, and this is defended by Rizwan out into the offside. Morgan hairs in from extra cover to do the fielding, and then a bullet-like throw back to Jos Buttler.
Have you been impressed with Saqib?
Yeah, Yes. It's difficult not to have been, really.
I mean, I'm biased, and I've been impressed with him all season, or for the last couple of years even, but just be interested to know your opinion on him.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of him in playing for Lancashire, and especially really came to the fore in the Royal London One Day Cup, as he starts with a slightly angled run, comes towards Rizwan, who drives uppishly. It's just going to bounce a couple of times before Chris Jordan at mid-off. Again, no run, and England just keeping things nice and tight at the moment, 3 without loss. But no, it's I think the responsibility that was given to him in those one-day internationals, the fact that he was, in inverted commas, the senior bowler. And I think that helped him. Someone Ben Stokes could lean on or look to when the situation required. Slip is coming out, by the way. Dawid Malan going to a mid-wicket. But just his discipline and the pace that he bowled, his really good lines and areas, a little bit of movement, just enough to cause 1 or 2 problems. And I'm going to throw it back on you in a minute as Saqib, with a deep square and the third man in place, comes towards us, and big swing and a miss attempted by Mohammad. Rizwan gets in a bit of a tangle trying to launch it to the leg side, doesn't connect, and Saqib picks it up in his follow through. And I just wonder if he's done enough, even in white ball cricket, if he's done enough to show the selectors that he should be on the plane for Australia.
Yeah, I think certainly I wouldn't be surprised if he's around for the India series at some stage at the end of this summer, because he has performed brilliantly for Lancashire and red ball cricket as well. And I think what this season has done more than anything, he's backed up game after game. He's played a huge amount of cricket.
Slight change in the field, sorry Jim, but the fine leg has gone back now and there is a deep square, so there's 5 in the offside ring, 2 on the leg side, that's a mid-on and a mid-wicket. Just the 2 deep fielders on the boundary behind square for Saqib, who comes towards us. Short delivery, pulled away, bisects the pair perfectly for 4. First boundary for Pakistan. Little bit telegraphed, perhaps, by Saqib, but Rizwan good enough to wallop it away.
Yeah, just as we're bigging him up, he telegraphs a short ball by putting deep square leg and fine leg back. Rizwan is onto that in a flash. It's not actually that short, it's probably just under the rib cage of Rizwan. He just easily sort of rolls his wrists and swivels on it, finds the gap between that deep square leg and fine leg.
7 without loss. So sorry, your point was just going to conclude.
I think he's done it. He's put a run of games together in the past years. He's always had niggles that would pop up and not get that run of games and get that confidence, but I think this year he's managed to get that run of games put together, and his confidence has just grown and grown the whole season.
He looks it in his rhythm and his run up as he comes towards, and this is flicked away and it's going to go fine for 4 more. Just a little bit errant in his line, angling down the leg side, and Rizwan shuffled across his stumps and flicked it with a straight bat, and it's gone past Josh Buttler down to the boundary for 4, and so an expensive end to the over. 2 overs gone, and Pakistan 11 without loss.
And that there ends the praise of Saqib Mahmood with those 2 boundaries.
There you go.
No more positive comments about him.
He's been rubbish.
Two poor balls to finish the over, but the first 4 were absolutely on the money, putting pressure on.
Mohammad Rizwan is 9 not out. Babar Azam 1 from 3. Great to have your company this evening on 5 Live Sports Extra. We'll be also going to 5 Live. We're on the big station tonight at 7 o'clock, all the way through as well. Willey starts the 3rd over. Past on Milnes he goes, and the leading edge has just ballooned up short of cover point. Goodness me, Babar Azam's fortunate there. He was squared up by Willey, it held its line, and a leading edge just went between backward point and extra cover, and Malan caught it on the 1 hop at cover point. David Willey, who's been impressive in white ball cricket for England this summer, as he was last. Huge disappointment missing out on the World Cup squad after being involved with England since their renaissance, since the 2015 World Cup. A point to prove as he runs away, and this is slashed away down towards 3rd man. It shouldn't be 4. It's just going to come into the hands of Saqib Mahmood. A well run from Babar Azam. They'll pick up 2. and Pakistan to 13 without loss. Great to hear wherever you're listening to. It's a lovely Tuesday evening. Wherever you're listening to us from around the country, let us know. At BBC TMS on Twitter. If you're in the garden, it's a nice night for a garden listen, isn't it?
Definitely.
On the deck chair. Sun lounger. You got sun lounger?
Yeah.
At home?
Yeah.
Perfect. There's Willey. Bowls. Down the track comes Babar Azam trying to wallop it straight over the head of the bowler, but he doesn't connect, and through to Buttler it goes. Glass or something?
Something fizzy.
Something fizzy? Would you go for fizzy?
I would. A bit of ice.
Ah, yes. Send us a pic, wherever you are, enjoying this lovely Tuesday evening. At BBC TMS on Twitter. We always like to see what you're getting up to. We're just nosy, really. Willey, 15 on his back in bright white numbering, gets one short of a length, and off the thigh pad I fancy of Babar Azam. Maybe just... Nope. Thigh pad it was, as umpire Milne signals leg by to the scorer, and Pakistan moved to 14 without loss in this, the third over. It's been a good white ball summer. It started off in very one-sided circumstances in the Sri Lanka series. 3-0 series win by arguably, don't like calling them the B team, but the next best, the next cabs off the rank for England, whilst the main squad was in isolation. Come back and played some fabulous T20 cricket. Both these sides have. Down the pitch, up and over. Hasn't got the legs. I don't think he's quite caught it, but it's gone all the way for 6. Mohammad Rizwan. He committed to the shot, launched it over long on, and the first 6 of the evening to Pakistan and to Mohammad Rizwan. 20 without loss.
You just saw Babar Azam try the exact same shot and play and miss at it. It looked like he was swinging too hard, so Rizwan has showed him exactly how to play that shot. Dances down, doesn't over-swing, just times it really nicely, and he sort of anticipates the length from David Willey. David Willey trying to get it full, swinging back into the right-hander. But Rizwan's smart to it and plays a really, really good shot.
Willey, his response is to ball one short of length. It's guided down towards short third where Saqib Mahmood fields, and it concludes the third over. 20 without loss after 3. Rizwan is 15. Babar Azam is 3, and it being Test match special, we've had a delivery. We've had a cake delivery. In fact, several cakes with a card. These are beautiful looking things. Cupcakes they are, with all of them, and there's a card with them. You take hold of the cakes, Jim.
Thank you.
And the card here says, to everyone at TMS, it's so good to be back. Today marks my first live cricket since the 2019 Ashes, and I thought I'd send a few treats to say thank you for keeping us all sane and giving us something positive through the last 18 months. Between TMS, tail-enders, and now no balls, it's been a joy and a relief. Thank you from Julie Cakes Hall. P.S. I went with the tail-enders theme since our Jimmy is in attendance. How about that from Julie?
Amazing. They look incredible as well.
I'm going to get you to
Brilliant
describe
cupcakes.
them in a moment. But Chris Jordan is on for the 4th over of the innings from the James Anderson end. His first delivery is outside of the off stump, signalled wide by umpire Wharf, and the score to 21 without loss. Go on, what have you got?
Well, it's, as Julie says, it's tail-enders themed cupcakes. We've got a go well, cheers, bit spicy that, see it, say it, Salford, etc, etc.
Look at those.
Picture going online soon.
They will. We'll send... Check out the TMS feed. James and his cakes.
Get a picture out there before Charles eats them all.
As Jordan bowls, it's edged past Buttler. The diving Buttler. Slip would have taken it. Buttler had no chance. Flies down towards the boundary for 4. And Pakistan 25 without loss. Babar Azam not at his fluent best as yet. However, he's still there worrying for England. And another boundary.
It would have been another wide if he'd have left it, but swings hard at it, just gets enough bat to go past Jos Buttler for 4.
Jordan towards us, and this is short and pulled by Babar Azam, and he's got it early. It's a chance of a catch. It's missed at mid-on by Jason Roy. He was all at sea, really. It was a tough one because it was over his left shoulder and he got himself into an awkward position, and it held in the air for a little bit of time. It wasn't timed well by Babar Azam. Maybe the toe end of the bat, but it ends up safe at mid-on, and he'll pick up a single. 26 without loss.
Yeah, for a minute I thought he was going to catch that, but he did get himself in an awkward position. He did have a lot of ground to cover, so it was a great effort in the end. But that's just how high England's fielding standards are. You know, he looks the look of disappointment on his face there feels like he could have actually got a hand to it.
Still in place, fine leg, deep square. Jordan, 5 in the offside wing, encroach upon Rizwan, who drives a slightly slower delivery, I think. It's just trickles to Eoin Morgan at extra cover, and Pakistan scamper through for a single. 27 without loss. Slight change in the field for Babar as fine leg comes up, and then a deep mid-wicket goes out.
It's an interesting field. He's got all the offside is inside the circle, but his line, these first 4 balls with a wide, have been very wide outside off stump.
Jordan, lovely rhythmical action. This is on the stumps this time. It's defended by Babar Azam to mid-on, and they go through for a hastily taken single. 28 without loss. Umbrellas up here at Old Trafford. In front of us are cameramen, but they are shielding themselves from the sun. Must be warm work. On the balcony, in direct glare of the sun beating down here at Old Trafford. How lovely it is to say that. Jordan again, past umpire Wharf, full delivery and slightly mishandled at mid-on. No damage done as the ball goes out to mid-off. And it remains 28 without loss. A big stand, a big temporary open stand, 8,000 people in there, all jammed in, hopefully with the sun protection factor on, although a bit of them are in the shade, to be fair. Sun setting over to our left hand side as Jordan approaches once more. Another slower delivery, gets swatted away by Rizwan. Only be a single though, out towards deep backward square. Jonny Bairstow, the man patrolling that boundary, and it's the end of the 4th over. 29 without loss here on Test Match Special, 5 Live Sports Extra. Don't forget you can watch in-play highlights via the BBC Sport website and app, and you can also catch the T20 cricket highlights tonight on BBC 2 at 11:15 with James Anderson and Ebony Rainford Brent. Just want to stay up for at 11:15. See your lovely face on there.
Definitely, yeah.
Considered thoughts. It's late night viewing, it's after the watershed. That's when you've got to put James Anderson on your screen. 4 overs gone, 29 without loss. Plenty of you have got in touch. Gary Walters is enjoying TMS, sunshine and a cold one. He's not told us where he is. That cold one he's enjoying in his back garden. 3/4 of it already drunk. Nice bit of lager. Torquil Deacon has got some Bollinger.
Oh, lovely.
Lovely. Torquil, good man. Now Saqib, Mahmood, keep him coming in. At BBC TMS on Twitter. Saqib Mahmood is back into the attack from the stay the men this time. Our end, and he strides away from us, close to the stumps, and that gets hit away. Long into the distance over deep backward square. Is beautifully picked up by Mohammad Rizwan, and he has looked the most fluid out of the 2 batsmen at the crease. It was on a good length, but arguably a premeditated shot, but how well it has worked out for Rizwan and Pakistan to 35 without loss.
Yeah, we saw this at Trent Bridge with these two. They took their time. They took 2 or 3 overs to get in and get used to the pace of the wicket, and then they started trying to accelerate through the back end of the power play and out of it. And we're seeing that now particularly from Rizwan. I just wonder if this is a bit too predictable from Saqib Mahmood. He's got the same field. He's got all the offside field, 5 fielders in the circle. He's got deep fine leg and deep square leg. And I just wonder whether, as a batter, you're going to know exactly where that, it's going to be straight. You're looking to bowl straight, or it's going to be short. I just wonder if it's a bit predictable at the minute.
Saqib, what's his response then? It's a full delivery and tentatively forward pushes Rizwan. They take a quick single to David Willey, but Rizwan always wanted one. Good running from a wicketkeeper batsman, and Pakistan moved to 36 without loss. The shadow of the point is now starting to stretch out over the outfield here, as one of the floodlight stanchions almost going from one side of the ground to the other, as the shadows lengthen here. Julie's got in touch about the cakes, by the way. Thank you, Julie. As Saqib, away from us, this back of a length turned wristily by Babar Azam out through the onside. They think about two, but not whilst Willey is patrolling deep mid-wicket. They'll settle for one and 37 without loss. Apparently, the cupcakes are vanilla with a mango coulis.
Wow.
It's a little highbrow for the TMS box, but they will go down well. George and Ian listening to us from the tub in South Devon. How lovely. It's raining in London apparently as well. Twas ever thus. Saqib, blue sleeve over his right arm, comes in bowls, and once again that sort of swatting type of shot, as though he's getting rid of an annoying insect from Rizwan. A lot of bottom hand in it, goes out through the onside for another single, 38 without loss. The other thing about the Old Trafford pitch, though, is that, especially in one-day cricket, it's true.
Yeah.
You can trust it as a batter.
Yeah, you very rarely get variable bounce. It's usually a very true bounce. You can trust, as you say, trust it. And that, you can see those cross-bat shots on a pitch that's going up and down can be risky, but not on this pitch.
England yet to find success, as the back of a length delivery is turned very neatly, stylishly by Babar Azam out towards deep square. The joiners listening to us from the French Pyrenees. How joyous that is. And Paul Buttery, excellent surname, listening in Valencia with a cold beer and a swim. How about that?
Beautiful.
In the pool he is. That's one way to listen to TMS, isn't it? In the pool. Wherever you are, great to have your company, as Old Trafford is drenched in glorious sunshine, as Saqib, many overs on here, a low full toss, gets hit away through the onside, and a fine tumbling piece of fielding by David Willey keeps it to one. So this is most productive for Pakistan. 5 overs gone, 40 without loss. Rizwan is 26 not out, Babar Azam is 11 not out, and overall, I think we'll be delighted with the start that they have made. James Anderson, some more words from you, and then it'll be Atif Nawaz.
Yeah, I think it's been a fairly cagey start, to be honest. I think both teams just feeling their way into the match. Pakistan not over-attacking. I think they'll be delighted with 40 for none, not losing a wicket. Run rate at 8 and over. I think they'd be pretty happy with that, with an over left of the power play. England they'll want that wicket or two, especially with these two at the crease. The longer these two bat, the more dangerous it gets for England. So I think this could be again, one of those wicket-taking options on this surface. Adil Rashid coming into the attack.
Well, he bowled very well in the last game as well at Headingley. Adil Rashid 2 for 30 from his 4 in Headingley. He's going to come in from the James Anderson end here at Old Trafford. And yeah, Pakistan will be very pleased. It's rather unusual to see Mohammad Rizwan driving the run getting and Babar Azam almost trying to get him on strike. Yeah,
it does feel like that. It feels like Babar's he's tried a few big shots, but he's not really timed it that well, so he looks like he's happy just to give Rizwan the strike and let him be the attacking force in this partnership.
Now then, Adil Rashid at the top of his run, just spinning the ball in his hand as he comes in now to Rizwan, thick under edge, goes to the fine leg inside the circle. They take a single. Rizwan hasn't been completely convincing so far. He's got this sort of premeditated idea of, like, I'm going to come out and attack because we need a lot of runs on this pitch. Sometimes it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy when you play like that. Things just make sense. You get away, those little edges go your way, everything just works out.
Yeah, I think he's a he's very annoying to bowl at, I'll tell you that much. He just always manages to find a way of getting it into a gap, getting one little inside edge or an outside edge.
Babar on strike now. In comes Rashid. This one's down the leg side. Big swing from Babar. He misses out, but it will still be given a wide by the umpire. Just losing his line that time, Adil Rashid.
Yeah, but you know, with Rizwan as well, when he gets in, he's got an array of shots that can be really devastating to any bowling attack.
Here's Rashid. Down the track, and he's been stumped. Babar Azam looking to break the shackles. Was completely outdone by an Adil Rashid Googly. He was looking to put that down the ground, misses it. And behind the stumps, there are no mistakes. Stumping, England take their first wicket, 42 for 1 after 5.2 overs.
Yes, the googly from Adil Rashid. I don't think Babar Azam has picked that. He's tried to go straight down the ground. He's tried to increase the run rate. He's struggled this innings, only 11 off 13 balls faced, so he'll be disappointed with that. But brilliant bowling from Adil Rashid, and also brilliant captaincy from Eoin Morgan, giving the last over of the power play to Adil Rashid. And getting that wicket will make England feel so much better already about this power play.
I don't even think Jos Buttler really picked it. He kind of just waited for the ball to get to him, and he happened to be in the right position, and he played it off quite nonchalantly in his celebration. But England have a big breakthrough. They know what it means to get Babar Azam early. He got a lot of runs, of course, in that match at Trent Bridge. 85, he got a 49 balls. They'll be pleased to see the back of him. Now then, Sohaib Maqsood, the new batter for Pakistan. Averaging just under 15. Not very impressive, that average, but we know he can do wonderful things on a cricket field. Part of that Multan Sultan's PSL winning side. Big innings in the final as well to get Multan over the line. 6 years out of international cricket. Big game for him here against England at Old Trafford. Decider. Batting against Adil Rashid, who's already made a difference. Adil Rashid and Eoin Morgan just seem to have this sort of telepathic communication sometimes.
Yeah, and I think even Jos Buttler, the way he's kept this series to Adil Rashid, he's been absolutely faultless, and that's a really tricky stump in that. It's the googly, it's gone in between bat and pad, it's just missed leg stump. So to take that as cleanly as he did, and make the stumping look as easy as he did, I think is brilliant bit of keeping.
He's got a slip as well now, as Adil Rashid, as he comes in to Sohaib Maqsood. Back of a link this time. Maqsood just pushes to extra cover. No run. Dot ball. Pakistan 42 for 1 after 5.3 overs. Adil Rashid immediately making an impact here. 3 balls in. He's only gone for 2, and he's already got that valuable wicket of Babar Azam, Pakistan's captain. In comes Rashid again. Bit fuller this time. Bit flatter, and just driven back to him by Maqsood. Another dot ball. This is such a useful sequence for England. Last over of the power play, Jimmy.
Yeah, great. And but I think one thing they'll be wary of is that it's already showing signs of spin, this wicket. So that's something when they come to bat, it might make the chase a little bit trickier.
And Pakistan with 4 frontline spinners in this side today. In comes Rashid once again. Lots of flight given this time. Driven aggressively by Maqsood. He beats the fielder in the circle. It races away all the way along the ground. Maqsood is off the mark with that 4. Pakistan 46 for 1. 1 ball to come in the 6th over.
Yeah, lovely shot to get off the mark. It's a little bit full from Adil Rashid. He tossed it up just outside off stump. And a classical cover drive from Maqsood. Just beats the diving David Willey at mid-off. Gets off the mark with a boundary.
There was no second guessing himself in that shot, was there? Huge backlift. He was always going to aim to hit that very, very hard. Now then, how does Rashid come back? Still a very tidy over. 1 for 6 from his 5 deliveries so far. Still got the slip in place. And he comes now. Short this time and pulled into the leg side. It's gone high. It's gone long. It's gone into the boundary. 4 more runs for Maqsood. Just spoiling Adil Rashid's over there. Pakistan's 50 comes up. 50 for 1 after 6 overs. And this crowd of 21,000 here at Old Trafford making as much noise as they have all night.
Yeah, great noise from the crowd, and those 2 boundaries are just liven them up. And Adil Rashid following up that tossed up delivery outside the off stump with an overcorrection, dragged it down into the surface, allowing Maqsood to get back and play the pull shot. Quite an easy shot when there's only one man out on the boundary on the leg side. There's plenty of space for him to hit it safely. and that's exactly what he did.
Now there's a bit of a extended conversation happening between Eoin Morgan and Chris Jordan. Morgan always takes the time to settle his bowlers, work on his strategy, be as precise as possible. The power play is done now. We'll likely see the field spread a little bit, especially as you can have Rizwan, the informed man, on strike. He's got 27 off 19 deliveries so far. Jimmy Anderson's going to have a little break. And joining me for the very first time today is the delightful Ebony Rainbread. Ebony, what a start for Pakistan, just tempered by that wicket. Tell me about it in a second. Chris Jordan's running in. And he comes to Rizwan. Bowls a full-length ball. Has been driven down the ground by Rizwan. What a beautiful shot that is. Of course, there's a long on out there for protection now, so it'll just be a single. Jason Roy into the action. 51 for 1.
Yeah, Mohammad Rizwan is the one, isn't he? I mean, he's so dynamic. I think what I liked about seeing him, he did it in the ODI that got things moving, and then we've seen it in parts in the T20s. He's busy. He doesn't hang about. He doesn't overthink it. He just gets moving around the crease and tries to create angles. So I feel that Pakistan, if they're going to set that big score, if it's not Babar, we were talking off air, he's considered and seen as the big gun, one of the big guns in this side. So it's his time to shine.
It's Maqsood on strike now. In comes Jordan, a bit shorter. Maqsood just pushes this behind point. He'll take the single. Saqib Mahmood with a throw. Score moves on to 52 for 1. Absolutely, Ebs. I think Mohammad Rizwan in the past 12 months has been probably even more prolific than Babar Azam has. And when you think about the man he replaced, Sarfraz Ahmed, the captain of Pakistan for such a long time, took them to that Champions Trophy here in England in 2017. He had to put in some titanic performances to displace him. There's no conversation about it either. He is the go-to wicketkeeper. Jordan in now, full, driven again down the ground by Rizwan to long on for a single. Score moves on to 53 for 1.
Yeah, and I like just him as an overall player. Like, he's busy behind the stumps. You hear him behind the stumps. When he comes to the crease, you sense something's going to happen either way. And players like that, they give sides momentum, especially when you've been struggling as a side. They haven't had the flow they want since they've got here. I definitely feel like he's someone who's shone out of some of the other players.
Jordan in once again, shorter this time, worked off his hips by Maqsood into the leg side. And take a single. Moeen Ali gets the ball back in, 54 for 1. It's a good chance for Maqsood again. He came in under pressure in the last game. He got 15, batted his average. We've talked about him being a much better player than his average, and he showed glimpses of the destructive batter he can be, but he's never quite had that statement innings on the big stage. This is a very big opportunity for him on a good wicket here at Old Trafford with a big crowd, a noisy crowd. Jordan in once again, another full delivery, just dug out into the leg side by Rizwan. They run through for a single. 55 for 1. How about this crowd, Ebbs? How nice is it? I mean, last year there was not a soul in the stadium. I remember me and Yasser Arafat, Pakistani all-rounder, were in one of the stands, and that was it. There was nobody else in the stands. And it's just extraordinary. 21,000 people.
Just a moment, sorry, I was just going to say, talk about Chris Jordan, who just bowled a beautiful Yorker. I just noticed he's going to have to replace the bat. It looks like he's had to call for, he's completely been...
Yeah, he's broken his toe.
Done.
The bat's toe, to be clear. Jordan in once again, short and just guided quite stylishly by Sohaib Maqsood. Down to find third for a single. That's the end of the 7th over. 56 for 1.
Sorry, yeah, there was you and Yasser Arafat in the stand, and then there was a dude on the train platform that you could see just outside the ground, playing the drum. I can't remember the name of the drum.
Dhol.
The dhol. And he had a couple of mates, and they were making all the noise, but no one else. There was no one in the stadium except us, and then a couple of super fans outside. So it's completely different atmosphere to last year.
I mean, I can see people here in the stands dancing. The flags have been waving. That horn noise that you can hear has just been non-stop from about 2 hours before the match started, and probably go way on into the night.
Well, I guess the question for the fans really is, Pakistan 1-1 in the T20 series. Can they get over the mark? Sometimes it feels like it's down to Babar Azam when they're not in flow. You think it's down to him, but actually you look down the side, there's a lot of batting to come.
A lot of bats are being offered right now as well.
How many bats is he checking?
There's a total of 6 bats I'm counting right now on the pitch, not counting the one that he's broken. Well, he's settled on one finally, and We will resume action very, very shortly. Now then, the score is 56 for 1 after 7 overs. We're just waiting for over number 8 to begin. It will be Liam Livingstone who's going to come into the attack. We have seen this pitch, Ebbs, already take a little bit of turn, which might, as Jimmy Anderson said, bring those 4 frontline Pakistani spinners into play.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting if Liam Livingstone gets turned as well. I think the Pakistani spinners will be keen.
Well, this time the ball's just been worked into the leg side for a single.
What will be interesting to see as well is just how Livingstone uses his variations. As we know, he can go, usually tries to take the ball away from the right-hander, but can offer the change-up if needed, the fire it in, the off-spinner. He's just got that ability to bowl the ball both ways. But I'm interested to see how he gets turned off this surface.
Right, 57 for 1 after 7.1 overs. In comes Livingstone. This is short and it's been hammered into the mid-wicket area for a single by Rizwan.
It did grip though, didn't it? Yeah. It was short, so he had time to adjust, but I noticed that definitely had a decent amount of turn off the surface.
Yeah, just setting the surface there. A bit more flight given this time. Big swing attempted by Maqsood. This has turned so sharply. It's beaten Josh Buttler behind the stumps. It's gone fine, and it's going to be 4 byes. Well, there's a lot of turn in this wicket, we can tell you. And I imagine the spinners are going to cause a lot of trouble here. There was a big swing.
That was a big swing. He thought it was sort of in that arc of when the ball goes up in the air and you can just clear, but it actually turned, took the outside edge.
Bit shorter this time. Capt behind square. Moeen Ali behind it. Excellent piece of fielding. No run taken. 62 for 1. Little game of cat and mouse right now between England and Pakistan. Pakistan just trying to wrestle some momentum here. England just trying to hold them back. Full of ball. Big swing this time from Maqsood into the leg side. There is protection in the deep. It's Jonny Bairstow, a deep backward square leg. And, another single to the batters. Maqsood on to 13 off 11 now.
Maqsood sets himself up like a sort of a stand and deliver type batter. Clearly quite strong.
Big backlift as well. This time the ball's been smashed through the covers. Is it going to get the boundary comfortably? 4 runs to Mohammad Rizwan. He marches on. Pakistan after 8 overs, 67 for 1. And the noise here at Old Trafford is deafening.
Well, the run rate is starting to pick up. That was a lovely shot there from Rizwan, who just shuffled down the wicket to create a bit of space and then a bit of a flourish.
Well, welcome to 5 Live listeners. You're joining us for the 3rd international T20 between England and Pakistan here at Old Trafford. It is a beautiful day. 30 degrees of heat at about 7 o'clock. It's not bad, is it? It's been interesting play so far. Babar, Azam, the Pakistani captain, winning the toss as he did in the second game, but this time opting to bat first. And Pakistan have started brightly. That's despite losing their captain. Babar Azam dismissed by Adil Rashid, who's continuing now. Pakistan after 8 overs are 67 for 1. My name is Atif Nawaz. Alongside me, Ebony Rainford Brent.
Hello, sorry Atif, I was jumping in. I got excited because I was seeing them. Eoin Morgan, who's back in the attack today, is being aggressive with the field set. He's put a slip in place for Maqsood, who knows there's going to be turn. He's going to be trying to play some shots.
In comes Rashid now. Lots of flight given. Big swing from Maqsood. This has gone down the ground and straight into the waiting hands of Jason Roy at long on. Well, Maqsood has fallen into the trap. The second wicket for Pakistan falls. Eoin Morgan winning the tactical battle. Pakistan 67 for 2.
That's a bit frustrating to watch there because I'm all happy him going for the big shot, but there was no sense of trying to get your angle right. So when you look at someone like a Josh Buttler, for example, he might go for the big shot, but he makes sure he gets the angle right. So even if they have to chase after it, that just went straight to the fielder. Jason Roy didn't really have to move, just a little shuffle and it was into his hands. So I think in this format of the game, if you're going to be that big destructive hitter, you also have to be clinical and clear on where you're trying to place it at the same time, and that just looked a bit, I'm going to go and not overthink about where I'm trying to place it.
That's disappointing from Maqsood yet again. He's having a difficult time here readjusting to international cricket. As he came in the side, I actually wrote a piece for the BBC Sport website where I talked about his maturity as an international cricketer developing, but he hasn't really shown signs of that in this series. Always getting a little start and then being a little bit one-dimensional. By the way, his departure brings Pakistan's most experienced player, 41-year-old Mohammad Hafeez, to the crease. He's also had a great run of form over the last couple of years for Pakistan. And a lot of hopes of Pakistan getting to a competitive total will lie with him. That aggressive field you talked about, Ebony, just paying off a little bit.
Yeah, it's good to see in this format of the game, at this stage of a game, to have a slip in play. It means you trust your bowler, you know the surface is turning, you don't mind being aggressive. So Eoin Morgan continuing his traditional captain style.
There's all the experience of Mohammad Hafeez there, taking his time, taking his guard, marking it out, organising himself, making the bowler wait. Adil Rashid's been ready for the last 3 minutes to bowl this ball. Mohammad Hafeez making him wait. Now Rizwan at the other end is just tying his shoelaces. It's a farce. Anyway, finally, in comes Adil Rashid. Lots of flight given and driven into the mid-wicket area by Hafeez. He's off the mark straight away. Pakistan 68 for 2 after 8.2 overs. Adil Rashid, those 2 boundaries he conceded over the last 2 balls of his first over, he came back very strongly from that. Adil Rashid's the kind of bowler who can always get himself a wicket, no matter what scenario he's in. Making him, for my money, one of the best leg spinners in the world, especially in this format. Jordan is in at slip. In comes Rashid, back of a length, a little bit quicker, pushed into the leg side by Rizwan for a single. 69 for 2 after 8.3. It looks like Rizwan is a little happier to rotate the strike, take those ones and consolidate a little bit, whereas the other batters have all looked to hit the ball from word go.
Yeah, and interesting. I think Rizwan in the power play tried to be more aggressive, more dominant, and then I think he's just sensed there's a change in the tone, and if he's there in the last 6 overs.
As Rashid comes in short this time and hammered into the leg side high, but there's a fielder under it, and Mohammad Hafeez has been caught in the deep. Adil Rashid has his 3rd wicket now, and just as it did at Headingley, spin paying dividends for England. Pakistan in all sorts of problems here at 69 for 3. England on top.
Massively on top, and I don't think Pakistan are reading the surface well enough. It's not coming on fast. It's taking a bit of turn, a little bit of pace out, and so they're trying to hit these big shots where the ball's not coming on. So you either have to wait a fraction longer or you have to pick your gap clearer, and it just looked like they haven't read that sign. So now it's applied pressure. I was just saying, no wonder Rizwan is kind of winding in a little bit and just trying to milk it a bit more, is because he's under pressure if the other end aren't picking up these clues quick enough.
Yes, well, Mohammad Hafeez, Pakistan's most experienced cricketer, is now back in the dugout. He's gone for 1, and Adil Rashid is recording some superb statistics. Now then, Fakhar Zaman, unusually low for him, number 5. We've seen him open the batting for Pakistan. We've seen him score hundreds and double hundreds in that opening spot for Pakistan. But in this modern team, he finds himself at the number 5 position. He's got a very intense strike rate, 140 nearly. Decent average in this format as well, of 22, approaching 1,000 international T20 runs. He's definitely capable. It'll be interesting to see his approach, because thus far, Ebony, as you say, it's been slightly brainless hitting from Pakistan.
Yeah, I think Pakistan likes to hit the ball, but also we've seen some really intelligent styles of play during the ODIs. I'm hoping that Rizwan, as you said to him, just get a feel for the wicket, almost give yourself an over of rotating and knocking it around. You don't have to go ball 1, just get the pace, because I don't think it's coming on as much as some of the big shots that they tried to play show. Now
then, Adil Rashid in once again, lots of flight given, driven inside edge onto his pads, Fakhar Zaman. A bit of tentativeness there from Fakhar. Another dot ball for England. Remember, England have taken 3 wickets and Pakistan playing an extra bowler today, so there is a longer tail on offer for England here. If they can get through these 2, there's not a ton of batting to come for Pakistan. As Adil Rashid in once again, lots of fly given once more, driven once more, only to extra cover once more, and it's a dot ball once more. So 9 overs gone, and Pakistan 69 for 3. A terrific spell of bowling here from Adil Rashid. 3 for 12 from his 2 overs. World class.
It's such a well-oiled machine, isn't it? Both Eoin Morgan could see the conditions and gives the ball to Rashid, puts the slip in place, and Rashid's got the confidence to give it that bit of air, because he knows his game plan, he knows Pakistan are under pressure. It just feels like they know how it's going to play out. There's just such a sense of belief. a clarity on the style they want to play, and Pakistan just look all at sea against him at the moment. So 3 from 12. I guess the question is, are they going to hold one of his overs back? He's very good at cleaning up later on.
Well, they do have options, England with this ball, and one of them is coming in now. Moeen Ali getting cheered. And oh, there's a proposal in the crowd. I think she said yes. Well, that's the biggest cheer of the day, and that is a lucky couple. A young man in a 1992 England shirt proposing to his girlfriend, now fiancée. The action continues. Moeen Ali in, attempted sweep shot. Rizwan misses, he's gone to the ground. He's on one knee as well. Everybody's on one knee here at Old Trafford.
Well, the funniest thing is his mate, who's on the other side of his new-to-be missus, was just screaming in his ear, like, come on. And I was thinking, you're taking the romance out of the moment. But what a beautiful thing, hey? Lots of celebrations. People in the crowd congratulating as well.
Moeen Ali in once again, a bit shorter, worked into the leg side for a single. Well, if you're going to propose, in fact, the batters are going to come back for two and make it. There's a shy. In fact, they're going to have a look at this. He got the dive in, he looked comfortable, but they're going to have a little look at it just to be safe. Going back to that proposal, I mean, doing it in front of 21,000 people, you know, it's risky. And on our television graphic thing that we've got here, the graphic of decision pending came up, which was a bit cruel, I thought. Yeah, Fakhar Zaman comfortably home. We found out of that review. Yeah, we just wanted to check if his bat was grounded or not, but it was.
Yeah, look comfortably home. It's a bold move. Would you actually say no? You could say yes now and then get home later and be like, sorry, I just didn't want to embarrass yourselves on TV. But it's not happening.
Well, anybody planning on proposing to Ebbs, don't do it at a cricket stadium.
Yeah, some warning, please. Otherwise, no guarantees.
In comes Moeen Ali once again. Lots of flight. This time turned into the leg side by Rizwan. He'll take a single. Score moves on to 72 for 3 after 9.3 overs. What a lovely moment it is, though. I mean, they'll remember that. For a lot of people, this will be just another T20 game. Oh, it was a decider, it was a big game. But, you know, T20s kind of fade away into obscurity. But for that couple, they're going to remember this day, this game, forever.
Well,
hopefully.
Let's hope for a long stretch.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Statistics are not looking great.
No. I don't add to that statistic very well myself. 72 for 3 after 9.3 overs. And spin doing the trick here for England, as it did in Headingley.
Important time for Moeen Ali as well. Back up the player of the match performance. He doesn't get a huge amount of overs.
And he comes now to Fakhar Zaman. Good line, tight. Fakhar can just push the ball back to him. There is no run. England continuing this squeeze. He doesn't get the same preference that Adil Rashid does, Moeen Ali, as he comes in again. This time again quite full. Played off the face of the bat, defensively to extra cover by Fakhar. This is unusual. Fakhar Zaman's gone 4 balls in now and he hasn't got off the mark yet.
I think he's feeling the pressure, and Moeen Ali is just kind of going at him, forcing him to play, angling it into the stumps, into the body.
And rushing in with every delivery. He's only just paused here to take his fielder from mid-wicket and put him to the short fine leg position inside the circle. Now then, in comes Moeen Ali. On a length ball, this time just pushed into that exact mid-wicket area. Moeen fields himself, but Fakhar is off the mark. 1 from 5 for him. Well, after 10 overs, you've got to say, advantage England, the spinners doing the trick. 73 for 3 so far. How do Pakistan begin to rebuild from here? And how can England continue this pressure? Ebony Rain for Brent, some thoughts from you? And you're going to be joined by Charles Dagnall.
Well, there's still batting to come in terms of Shadab, Imad Wasim and Hasan Ali after these 3. So I sense there just needs to be a bit of a recovery over the next, let's say, 4 overs, just to get a platform, rotate the strike, take a bit of heat out of the game. And then they've got power hitting that could come in at the back end of the game, Daggers. So yes, they are behind, but I think still a good score is possible if they rebuild.
Well, here's Rashid to continue. His first delivery is swept away hard, and it almost has cleaned up Alex Worth, the square leg umpire, who's flat on his back. He now gets up on his haunches and then stretches his arms out as if to sort of say, give me some warning, would you? It's got all the way to the boundary for 4. And Pakistan moved to 77 for 3. Good looking shot.
It was a very good looking shot. He reached for it. It hit the bowler's foot mark on the strip to the side and then kind of leaped out at him. He did well to a nifty limbo move and get under that ball.
has done well. Great reactions from Alex Wharf. 77 for 3. Rashid has 3 for 16 after 2.1. He comes in again with a slip in place, and Fakhar Zaman defends out into the offside. In fact, it's Rashid who picks up the delivery off his own bowling. Well, how lovely. Nothing like an intimate atmosphere to propose. Phil and Jill, apparently.
Oh, is that the name?
Phil and Jill.
Oh.
Betrothed couple. As big swing away. Oh, it's an enormous shot from Fakhar Zaman into the onside and into the big open stand over to our left. The sun blinding us a little bit. Beach balls and flags are getting tossed around in that stand to celebrate Fakhar connecting beautifully with a slog sweep. And if Adil Rashid has had the wool over Pakistan, then Fakhar Zaman has decided to start fighting back. 83 for 3.
And the right option of bowling as a left-hander, the ball's coming into him, so he's just kind of helping it on its way. We said they'd struggled to find the pace on this wicket. He found all the pace he needed in that one. Absolute beauty.
So Rashid still with the slip in place. There's a deep backward square, deep mid-wicket and long on. Angled run, twirls his arms and bowls on leg stump. Flat delivery turned by Fakhar Zaman through the onside. They'll think about the second run. Fakhar wants it. There's always a danger with Fakhar running, but they keep it to 1 and Pakistan breathe easy. 84 for 3. Mohammad Rizwan is there, 39 not out. He's played very nicely. Now the Pakistan noise levels rise up a little bit after a very good over so far. 84 for 3. An orthodox leg break from Rashid gets chopped away by Rizwan, only as far as Saqib at short third man, and a single is taken. 85 for 3. Don't forget, listeners, 100 starts tomorrow on 5 Live. The Oval Invincibles against the Manchester Originals from 6:15. Carlos Brathwaite and England captain Heather Knight part of the team tomorrow for the start of the 100 as a sweep is played by Fakhar Zaman out towards deep backward square. Long chase for Saqib, and he picks the ball up tumbling to his left hand side, and Pakistan through for second. So good over for Pakistan. 87 for 3 at the conclusion of the 11th. Rashid 3 for 26 off their 3. So yes, join us on 5 Live. The start of the 100 tomorrow. Oval Invincibles versus the Manchester Originals.
Should be fun, I think.
Well,
I'm looking forward to seeing how it all plays out. The energy's coming, the tunes are going to be coming.
It's a venture into the unknown, and that's what's interesting and fun about it. Is going to all unfold over the next month or so. And make sure you stay with us right across the BBC. We've got television coverage, all of the games on the radio. It all starts tomorrow evening, 6:15. You can also hear tomorrow on 5 Live Sports Extra. Commentary the second day of India's tour match against the county select team as well. Our good buddy Mark Church is up there in Durham. Watch KL Rahul score a scintillating 100 today, ahead of the Indian Test Series, all of which you'll hear on Test Match Special. Moeen Ali from the James Anderson end with the pavilion behind him. His first delivery is pulled into the onside by Rizwan. Doesn't quite get hold of it, and it just meanders out to David Willey at deep mid-wicket. 88 for 3. Charles Dagnall, Ebony Rainford Brent with you. High at the Statham end. What a wonderful vista we have here. The flag's just gently billowing in the breeze on top of the pavilion. The St George's flag, more active than the Union flag, which is just drooped next to the flagpole. Round the wicket comes Moeen, and this is punched back to the bowler. A good little battle going on between Moeen and Fakhar Zaman here.
Yeah, I like the angle. He's just kind of angling it into the left-hander, giving him no room to free those arms, which he loves to do.
Big bushy beard of Moeen approaches as Fakhar Zaman drives slightly on the up. It bobbles across the used wickets on the square here at Old Trafford out to Jonny Bairstow at deep cover, and a single is taken. 89 for 3. And Rizwan back on strike, who's 41 not out. Conversation between Morgan and Buttler, captain and vice-captain, just prior to the next delivery being bowled as Mohammad Rizwan waits. Green trousers, light green top. Pakistan as a flat delivery from Moeen is skimmed down. It gets hit out towards mid-wicket. Another single is taken. 90 for 3. The ominous thing from an England perspective is the success that Rashid has had, and Moeen Ali is keeping control of things. Of course, they have their own spin contingent to think about. Shadab Khan, we're going to see Usman Qadir, many of whom will have seen his father bowl many a time for Pakistan. Abdul Qadir, who's a wizard, as Moeen's next delivery is just tucked into the leg side neatly for a single by Fakhar Zaman. 90 for 3. Imad Wasim as well, left arm darts. He bowls those. They're orthodox spinners, but he doesn't really get a great deal of turn. But
just fires him in from that angle, doesn't he?
I think they'll be encouraged by what they've seen from this Old Trafford pitch, as the final ball of the Moeen delivery gets worked it through the leg side just for another single. Willey is there to tidy up, and a bounce throw is good to Buttler, and it's the end of the over. 12 overs gone. 92 for 3. Rizwan is 43. Fakhar is 16 not out. Don't forget, you can watch him play highlights via the BBC Sport website and app, and the highlights with Eoin James this evening at 11:15 on BBC Two. But it's just something in the back of England's mind, I think.
Yeah, I also would, if I was Pakistan, Babar Azam, I'd be tempted to think about opening one over with a spinner. There's big boundaries as well, so there is that grip and turn, and you start strong. Someone like Jason Roy, who likes to go at the ball, calls him some trouble having to hang back, and the pitch I wouldn't say is coming on perfectly. You have to almost wait to get value for your run. So, you know, if Pakistan rebuild here to a decent score, they still could, you know, if they go well, get near that 170, 180, even a bit more if they hold wickets in hand. Predictor score says 175, so I think 170, 180 would be valuable on this.
Liam Livingstone, he's had quite a good couple of games, hasn't he? He'll be enjoying life in an England shirt.
He's put his name in the hat, hasn't he?
Oh, has he ever? Maybe even cemented his place in the side. He's going to bowl a leg spinner first up from this Statham end, our end. Gets sliced away, or swept away, and Malan, unfortunately, has made a complete pig's ear of the fielding down at deep backward square. The ball was spinning. He knew it was. He adjusted for the ball as it bobbled up off the slog sweep of Rizwan, and he's, instead of picking up one, they've picked up 4. 96 for 3.
Yeah, that's not good. He had so much time. He'd run around. He knew what was coming. Ended up, it just sort of kind of.
The next delivery is just played down towards short third. A single is taken. 97 for 3.
Yeah, it's one of those ones as well that, you know, if it ends up being a tight game and you look back at key moments, those are the sort of ones. One thing I was going to say, Liam Livingstone is getting it to rip. You wouldn't say he's a bowler that really gets that turn on Rashid, but off the surface it is significantly moving. So Pakistan spinners, Qadir in particular, who's in for the first time in the T20s, will be licking his lips right now.
He's like Bertie Bassett, Liam Livingstone. He bowls all sorts. All sorts. Other all-sorted licorice treats are available. I don't know
they don't make
by who.
A good joke.
So there you go.
Well done, Dogs.
Thank you. Livingstone's going to go round the wickets to Fakhar Zaman. Bleach blonde hair in the style of Phil Foden, Manchester City and England footballer. Jason Roy's had similar, as Livingstone bowls an off spinner round the wicket to the left-handed Zaman, who cuts it away out towards Malan, who this time picks up cleanly. Goodness, I'm sure his eyes were focused on that one, but not before Pakistan pick up 2. 99 for 3. The other thing about Liam Livingstone, he's got a right-hander. He can spin the ball away from the right-hander. He gets a left-hander in, he can do exactly the same.
Yeah, good control. Gives your side options to be able to adjust the field, whether you have a left or right-handed bowler. And he does maintain the control as well, even with a left-hand, right-hand combination of batters at each end. So he's going to just try and get him to fire it in. Well, they're changing the field a lot here. They just had 2 sort of backward points, and now they're going to put some cover in at fine.
Slip still in place though, as Livingstone bowls an orthodox off spinner to the left-handed Fakhar Zaman, who carefully pushes out to backward point, and a single is taken. It also brings up the Pakistan 100 in this the 13th over. Fakhar to 19. 36 balls for the first 50. Slightly slower second 50.
Yeah,
taking 40 balls.
The wickets slowed things down.
Official attendance has been given 20,328.
Feels
packed in, and it feels like 20,000.
It does, doesn't it?
Hardly a seat to be had. Livingstone shuffles in, bowls the leg spinner, a good one as well. It's quite the art as it's defended out into the offside, and Rizwan is having a wander and does the fielding for England. Tosses the ball to Eoin Morgan.
It's quick as well to get that grip off the surface, getting it through.
I mean, it's a very useful weapon to have. You think about where the World T20 is going to be in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, the UAE. It's down the pitch, hitting inside out over extra is Rizwan. Just slices off the face a fraction. It goes out to David Willey at deep cover, and a single is taken to end the 13th over. 101 for 3. But just to have not only his batting ability, but also his ability with the ball, Liam Livingstone, to spin the ball both ways, it's a very useful commodity to have.
Sorry, I've just been double bluffing you. I think I was pretending.
I thought you were going. Are you not going?
To go off, and then actually I'm going to stay with you one more. I just couldn't leave.
It
was the joke. It was the joke.
Wasn't it
about the all sorts that made me think I want one more over to hear another punchline. What have you got?
Nothing. Very little. 101 for 3. Beautiful evening here in Manchester.
Do you know it's raining in London, by the way?
Oh no.
Well, normally when I come north it gets colder and colder, but actually for once it's cooking.
Do have a word with the PM, won't you? There's Moeen Ali to continue. Pavilion behind him. Oh, he gets one to really jag back. And I tell you what, there is some grip out there for the spinners, and something that Pakistan, I'm sure, in the dugout will be licking their lips about. That really has jagged back to Rizwan. It made him jump almost as he played a ball that he fended off his body out into the offside. There is no run. Remains 101 for 3. Thoughts of Ebony in a second, but Moeen is ready again with those bright orange boots of his. Underneath the blue trousers, gets whipped through the mid-wicket region for a single, and Rizwan gets to 50. A very well-made 50 as well. There was a period when Adil Rashid took those 3 wickets, and Pakistan started to crumble a little bit, but alongside Fakhar Zaman, he's just steadied the ship, and he's Pakistan's rock this evening. 50 not out, and Pakistan 102 for 3.
Yeah, he's doing a great job for his team at the moment. He had to dial it back when the wickets were being taken, rotate the strike, reduce the risk. But if he can hang around another couple of overs and then start to play expressively at the back end of the game.
Fakhar Zaman gets one on leg stump, which he turns through forward square, and he'll get a couple of runs perfectly placed between Malan and Saqib, allowing him to come back for the second. 104 for 3. He's played well here, Fakhar Zaman.
I don't think it's going to be an easy wicket. You know, if they can post that 170, 180, and then Pakistan get their spinners in on early, cause some problems, slow the ball off the surface.
Slightly slower delivery from Moeen. He gets just punched down the ground for a single. 105 for 3.
Yeah, it could keep them in. I just noticed that one from Moeen Ali. Not only did it jag off the surface, it slowed down, and you really had to wait to play your shot. So if Pakistan are reading all of those signs, I tell you what, it's cooking in that stand over there, literally.
There's smoke?
Pink smoke.
Is there a flare or something
like that?
Thing
going on.
Here's Moeen as a full delivery is whipped through the mid-wicket region again. They should be looking for 2 and will get there. And we heard James Anderson earlier on in commentary say about the corners here at Old Trafford. That's where the most space is. That's where the 2s are available. And Pakistan have been adept in picking those gaps out. Rizwan in particular, he moves to 52. 107 for 3. I did see some smoke coming up over on the stand on the far side as Moeen bowls. It's firmly hit into the turf. Moeen then shied at the stumps through his legs, and there was no one backing up, and that's allowed Rizwan and Pakistan to go through for a single to end the 14th over. 108 for 3. Rizwan is 53 not out, and Fakhar Zaman 22 from 17 deliveries. Ebony is leaving us this time as we await the return of James Anderson. But a little shout out as well to BBC golf correspondent Ian Carter, who's listening in. Had a very busy week at Royal St George's last week, no doubt, watching Colin Morikawa win the Open. Great listening as well, and hopefully time to relax and listen to us. James Anderson is back. Thank you everyone for sending all of your pictures in where you're listening from and across Europe and around the country as well. Always fun to see what you're getting up to on this Tuesday evening with Pakistan 108 for 3 off 14 overs. Also listens on BBC Radio 5 Live as well as 5 Live Sports Extra. We are everywhere, James Anderson.
Everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere.
Got it all covered.
And how do you see this Pakistan innings?
Yeah, I think they're in a decent position, having seen the spin that this pitch is taking. They've got 4 spinners to choose from, Pakistan, when they come to bowl. I think they'll be fairly happy with 6 overs left. They've got 7 wickets in hand. Rizwan, 53 not out of 40. I think he's the key. If he can go on and get an 80 and people bat around him, that could get them up to a really challenging total.
Yeah, Livingstone will continue. 108 for 3, 14 overs gone from the Statham end. He tosses one up and almost a big heave into the leg side, but I think Rizwan was looking where it was going before connection, and it clatters into his pad and there is no run, but he was looking big leg side. Goodness me, if he'd connected it would have gone into the city centre. I saw some big hits at Headingley the other day, Liam Livingstone's in particular. Enormous blow onto the roof as he comes in once more. A leg spinner which is more sedately played by Rizwan. Again, it's a sweep shot, but finds Bairstow at deep mid-wicket for another single. 109 for 3. Rizwan to 54. It's going to be, again, we mentioned this in Trent Bridge. We weren't together at Headingley, but where England will bowl at the latter part of their innings. Is it a hard length pitch? Is it a full of length pitch? Will slower balls grip? It would indicate they might, given the spin that's available. Your thoughts on that in a second as Livingstone is ready to go again. Round the wicket to Fakhar Zaman. Slips still in place. An orthodox off spinner which has turned again. And Fakhar Zaman did well to adjust. He cut it out to Bairstow at dip point and scored to 110 for 3.
Yeah, I think, using the pitch here for the seamers if and when they come back at the death could be the way forward. Seeing how the spinners have got grip on this pitch.
Livingstone, leg spinner, swept just for a single, 111 for 3.
I think that could be the way forward, and I think also England can learn a little bit from how Pakistan are batting here as well. So when they've gone for the big shot, I think they found it more difficult. But when they've seen Rizwan just playing some hard sweeps along the floor, rolling the wrists on the ball, rather than trying to go aerial and hit a big 6. It's a really big square boundary here, so you maybe just take the 1 and 2 and build partnerships like that.
Livingstone, after a little shift in the field, is still 3 on the leg side boundary, deep square, deep mid-wicket, long on. He bowls an off spinner which is guided through the cover region for a single by Fakhar Zaman, 112 for 3. Just a reminder, since there's 2 Lancastrians with you, another couple are available. The No Balls Cricket Podcast, available on the Test Match Special stream on BBC Sounds, featuring Indian superstar Harmanpreet Kaur as Rizwan gets driven down. Livingstone gets driven down to long on for a single. 113 for 3 at the end of the 15th over. Harmanpreet Kaur is on the No Balls podcast, who hosts with Kate Cross and Alex Hartley. They'll be playing the opening game of the 100 tomorrow for the Manchester Originals against the Oval Invincibles. Make sure you check that out. So 113 for 3, 5 overs remain. James Anderson, some more from you, and then to take you through to the back end of the innings, it'll be Atif Nawaz.
Yeah, I think this is clearly an important stage of the innings, but England are looking to keep bowling their spinners. We've seen a lot of grip on this surface. So Moeen Ali will bowl his allotted 4 overs, which he hasn't done it doesn't feel like he's done it a huge amount for England in recent times. And I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Livingstone does the same at the other end. But interesting that Eoin Morgan keeping going with his spinners here, where getting towards those death overs.
Yeah, it's been the way for England really. I think they've really invested in what they learned in the last game at Leeds. It's Moeen Ali in once again, full of ball. He can't quite get it away. Rizwan, they run through for a quick single. There's a Shah at the non-strikers end from the wicketkeeper Josh Buttler. No real danger for Pakistan. 114 for 3. I think it's as you said, Jimmy. I think the going after the ball in a premeditated way hasn't worked for Pakistan today. They've either found the fielders or they've been tactically worked out. So they need to just take a step back and think about when they want to hit the ball, where they want to hit it, which has been lacking a little bit today. We've seen when they've worked and played proper shots, looked for the gaps, there's been more there on offer. As Moeen Ali in once again, back of a length and beats Fakhar. He misses the ball completely. He strikes him on the pad. There's a belated appeal for LBW from Moeen. Umpire is unmoved. Now Moeen is making a case for the review. He's talking to Josh Buttler, Eoin Morgan. Now Eoin Morgan makes the T sign. He doesn't want a cup of tea, he wants a review. And to be honest with you, even though there wasn't much noise about it, Jimmy, he looks kind of close.
TV umpire to director, we've got a review for LBW. Original decision is not out. Can I see front on, please?
Yeah, the thing for me here, Moeen Ali looked really sure about it.
It is a fair delivery.
That's the voice of Martin Saggers, the third umpire. Oof. Looks
okay,
plumb.
It's very close. If I could go to ultra edge, please.
Yeah, looks very close. It's hit him on the back leg in front of middle stump. Height, I think, is the only issue here.
And keep rolling through. Got flat line. Just rock and roll that for me one more time.
Just the top bit of the bat flap.
Okay, and roll it back through to the pad. It's a flat line as it passes the bat. If I could move to ball tracking, please. Ball tracking, pitching outside off, impact in line.
Top of middle.
Hitting the wickets. If we go back on field to Alex, please.
Well, Moeen Ali has...
Alex, I'm going to ask you to reverse your decision. You're on the screen now.
Well, he was convinced for a reason, was Moeen Ali. He pushed for that review. You don't often see him pushing for reviews, but he was convinced, and with good reason. It was hitting the top of middle stump. What a time for England to get rid of Fakhar Zaman. 114 for 4 now after 15.2 overs. A timely wicket there.
Yeah, really good wicket for England. And Moeen Ali he has been getting some spin. That one just skids on off the surface, trapping Fakhar Zaman on the crease. And when Moeen Ali, as you say, doesn't often push for a review, but when he does, like when he's so sure about it, he's someone that you think, wow, if he's going for it, then it must be close. And Eoin Morgan didn't hesitate to go for it. So really important wicket at a difficult stage for Pakistan.
Yes, well, we talked about Pakistan playing a bowler-heavy team today. They've got rid of a batter today in their lineup. They have a slightly longer tail because of it. Now, Shadab Khan is the new batter. He batted reasonably well for Pakistan. Under no pressure, really, at that point. The game was beyond Pakistan, but he got himself 36 not out. Did Shadab in the previous game. And now he comes at the crease with Pakistan 114 for 4 after 15.2. They do need a total here. It's a spinning pitch, but anything under 150, 160, you'd say advantage England.
Yeah, I think 150 is probably about par, especially with the spin we've seen. I think it'll be a difficult chase for England. 150 plus would definitely be a difficult chase.
Well, take some getting at this point with England spinners bowling well. Moeen Ali into his 4th over, 3.2 overs, 1 for 17 for him so far. As he comes in now to Shadab Khan, sharply turning delivery, which Shadab nearly plays onto his stumps. Just bottom edges it, it bounces into the hands of Josh Buttler. The ball is really turning here, Jimmy Anderson.
Yeah, it really is turning sharply from outside off stump of the right-hander.
In comes Moeen Ali again, this time a bit shorter. Shadab gets on the pull, just muscles this down to long on for a single. He's off the mark. 115 for 4 now.
And I can only see that spin getting more and more pronounced as the game goes on. So that's it'll be a slight worry for England. They'll want to keep this total down to certainly below 150 to try and make that chase a little bit easier.
Yeah, Usman Qadir in the lineup as well for Pakistan today. A very, very talented spinner. You know, Mohammad Hafeez can bowl, Shadab Khan can bowl. In comes Moeen Ali. Down the track comes Rizwan, looking to make something happen in the end, just checking his shot, pushing the ball back to Moeen Ali. No run again. It's a brilliant over from Moeen Ali so far. He's back into his stride once again. Moeen Ali, lots of flight this time, swept fine by Rizwan. He finds the fielder at deep backward square. It's Jonny Bairstow gets the ball back in. Just the single. So after 16 overs, Pakistan are 116 for 4 in this deciding encounter here at Old Trafford. It's not got the belligerent hitting of Nottingham. It doesn't have the explosiveness of Headingley. But there's a serious tactical battle at play here at Old Trafford.
Yeah, absolutely. High fives all round for Moeen Ali, or fist bumps all round. 1 for 19 off his 4. Bowled really well. Exploited the spin that this pitch is giving. I think this is it's a really good performance by England's spinners here. Adil Rashid coming back into the attack, 3 for 26 off his 3. And I think one criticism of the Pakistan batsmen, there are big areas square of the wicket here at Old Trafford, and they've not once tried to just not one into a gap for 2, put pressure on the fielder. They're always looking for that slightly bigger shot, that boundary shot.
Yeah. Well, Adil Rashid in now to Rizwan. Lots of fly given. Rizwan down the track. He's looking for the big shot. He's found it this time over the long on boundary to the right of the media centre. That's a well-needed 6 for Pakistan. Rizwan onto 64 not out now. Pakistan 122 for 4.
Well, there's no point looking for the gaps in the field if you can hit it that far, is there? It's a great shot. He came down the wicket but didn't get to the pitch of the ball. So he used his hands to reach for it, but connects with it brilliantly and hits it into the top tier of the stand.
It's a big hit from Rizwan. Been spoiled for big hits in this series. Now then, Rashid has the sanitised ball back in his hand. More fly given this time, and Rizwan just deftly pushing to that short third fielder. They've run through for a quick single, and that's really what's been missing today from the batters as well, Jimmy. That ability to just say, okay, I've got my 6, I've got my 4. Let me take a single, let me take a 2, let me look for the gaps, let's rotate this. You don't have to be relentlessly hitting every ball, especially when it's turning.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was clever batting. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Shadab on strike. In comes Adil Rashid. Lots of fly given. Shadab drives very pleasingly out to the sweeper in the covers. And, David Willey getting the ball back in. Single taken. 124 for 4 now, Pakistan. I wonder if England will continue with spin past this over as well. It's done really well for them. Adil Rashid 3 for 34. I've already seen a terrific spell from Moeen Ali. 4 overs, 1 for 19 for him. Maybe another over from Livingstone. Well, we'll find out shortly as in comes Adil Rashid. This one's a bit shorter. Rizwan kneeling down, looking for the big sweep. Under edges it into the mid-wicket area. They take a single. It's very well bowled from Adil Rashid. Just saw that intent immediately from Rizwan.
Yeah, just pushed it a bit wider, gave it a bit more flight, making Rizwan really reach for that sweep shot. When you're reaching that far, it's very hard to time it.
Rashid in once again, bit shorter this time. Cut shot attempted by Shadab, misses the ball as it turns sharply away from him into the gloves of Jos Buttler. And another dot ball for England. Just a bit flatter and a bit quicker that time from Adil Rashid. He's really got all the tools. Makes him one of the finest leg spinners in the world today. And he comes now, Adil Rashid, this time a bit shorter. Shadab has hit this high up in the air. Is the fielder getting underneath it? Will he take the catch? Yes, he will. An excellent catch from Liam Livingstone. Adil Rashid has his 4th wicket. Shadab Khan has to depart for 2. And Pakistan losing momentum at a crucial time here. 17 overs gone, 125 for 5. What a catch that was from Livingstone.
Yeah, just got the toe of the bat. Did Shadab hitting it out to mid-wicket, the mid-wicket region. Liam Livingstone having to cover a bit of ground to come in and catch that, but also he had the sun to contend with, which is right in his face. So he made a really good catch in the end, catching it low down in front of him.
Well, it helps England's hopes of just holding Pakistan below that 150 mark that you're talking about. It's a longer tail, as we keep saying. But crucially for Pakistan, Mohammad Rizwan is still there. Imad Wasim, the new batter, we know he can hit the ball a long way as well. Showed a few glimpses of that in the last match at Leeds, also for Nottinghamshire last season. Got himself a T20 Blast winners medal as well. Big noise here in Manchester as those air horns have temporarily, they've not disappeared, but they've just been taken down a notch.
Yeah, just quietened a little bit. Just slowing up quite dramatically this Pakistan innings. A lot now resting on Rizwan's shoulders at this stage of the innings.
3 overs to go, 125 for 5. Chris Jordan is going to come back into the attack, so that relentless barrage of spin is temporarily going to stop. Jordan just waiting at the top of his run. Rizwan, in fact, Imad Wasim on strike. Jordan bowls on the leg stump. Imad has flicked this to the fine leg area. Saqib Mahmood is on the boundary. Single taken. You can tell by Imad's backlift he is already coming in with a very attacking mood. 3 overs to go, I suppose. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I want, from a Pakistan point of view, you'd want Rizwan facing as many balls as possible in this last, 17 balls now remaining in this innings. You want him facing as many as possible, so it's not the worst thing. Imad getting a single, getting Rizwan on strike. It'd be interesting to see whether he goes hell for leather from this ball, or whether he takes it quite deep, Rizwan, and keeps knocking it around, just playing strong shots. England got one of their strongest death bowlers on at the minute as well.
He's taking his time setting his field, and Rizwan had a good look around to make sure he knew exactly where the field is. They're both gesturing at the moment. Rizwan's gesturing, Jordan's gesturing. It's like a Shakespearean play. Now then, Jordan finally runs in. He bowls to Rizwan. It's a little bit shorter. It's a slow ball. Rizwan's just scooped this into the leg side for a single. I think Jordan's going to call that a win for now. Moeen Ali in the deep doing the fielding. 127 for 5. Pakistan. It's an extraordinary atmosphere, isn't it, Jimmy? It's almost like an away game for England with the amount of support and noise for Pakistan. And you've probably encountered that multiple times in your career. I mean, what is that like to play what almost feels like an away game at your home ground?
Yeah, I mean, it's strange, but I mean, the atmosphere is electric, and it's just great to play in an arena like that.
Jordan in short this time, hammered by Imad over the fielder at cover. The fielder who's sweeping is going to have to come around a long way, putting a diving effort. Jonny Bairstow preventing the boundary, but the batters will get back. No! Is there a run out at the non-striker's end? We're going to have a look at this, but it looks like he was caught napping. Well, that would be an awful way for Mohammad Rizwan to fall.
TV umpire to director, we've got a review for run out. Can we see your best side on angle, please?
In fact, it's Imad Wasim.
Okay, just slow it down for me.
Oh, it's tight.
Slow it down.
I think he's gone.
Okay, and just freeze it at the point of impact. Okay, I'm ready with my decision for big screen.
That is terrific awareness from Chris Jordan. Imad Wasim caught napping on that third run. Jordan made no mistake. England have another wicket. Really, really denting any momentum Pakistan can put together. It's 130 for 5 now.
It was actually a brilliant bit of awareness from Jonny Bairstow on the boundary. So he firstly made the stop, tipped it back inside the rope with a tumbling, diving effort. And Imad's just jogging the whole way. He thinks it's 2, but Rizwan wants 3. As Rizwan comes back, Imad's left with too much to do. Jonny Bairstow throws the ball to Chris Jordan, which is the end that Imad is running to. And Chris Jordan still has a bit of work to do. He's got to throw it from about, I'd say, a metre away. He just does enough. And Jonny Bairstow very happy with his bit of work there. And it was a fantastic bit of fielding and awareness from him.
Yeah. Chris Jordan crucially just took that split second to set himself before he aimed for the stumps. Jonny Bairstow in the deep, what an effort. The dive, the throw, the awareness to the situation. Well, it's brought a new batsman to the crease. The Rizwan is on strike. A Yorker length delivery from Jordan. It's been dug out to mid-on. And because the field is so deep set, we talk about these big boundaries square of the wicket, the batters have managed to get back for 2.
Yeah, good running. Good running.
It's dramatic stuff, this. Rizwan has now got Hasan Ali at the non-striker's end, who's come back in after a thigh injury. He missed the first 2 games. And he's back for Pakistan today. We know he can bat. Well, this is going to take a little bit of astuteness here from him and Rizwan. A lot of pressure on here on Pakistan, as that ball getting a little bit scuffed up as well. It's just how Chris Jordan likes it. The death of an innings. That full stuff. Mohammad Rizwan on strike. In comes Chris Jordan. He bowls a low full toss. Rizwan drives straight down the ground. It beats the fielder at mid-off. There's no one at long-off. That is 4 runs. Well, Mohammad Rizwan's counter-attack continues. He's on 73 now. Pakistan 135 for 6. Small margins.
Yeah, that's clever batting though from Rizwan. It's an attempted Yorker from Chris Jordan. Gets it slightly full. It's a full toss. Rizwan just gives himself that little bit of room outside leg stump because he's got mid-off and extra cover inside the circle. He knows that if he beats them either side, it's 4 runs. He times it well enough just to get to beat the diving fielder at mid-off.
Jordan in once again. Bit fuller this time. Rizwan digs it into the leg side. He wants the single. He turns back immediately as Jordan had that ball in his hand and his follow through in a split second. Well, catch your breath. That was an eventful over. 135 for 6 after 18. Rizwan on 73 off 54 deliveries. Hasan Ali yet to face a delivery. That's extraordinary. What a match these spinners are having. 4 wickets for Adil Rashid today. So effective for England. But also the fielding, Jimmy Anderson, here at Old Trafford. From England, they're just not skipping a beat. You can tell that it's a big match and they're treating it as such.
Definitely, yeah. They look right on it today. I think the fielding throughout the white ball summer has been fantastic, actually. Well, it has been for a number of years now. They're just... Everyone works so hard. They've got some of the best fielders in the world. And they also know exactly what their job is as well. You see them moving between overs. There's no arm waving or pointing from the captain. It's just the players take it on their shoulders as their responsibility to get themselves in the right place. I think that's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, and Saqib Mahmood is going to be bowling the penultimate over. He's been really impressive again this entire white ball series against Pakistan. He was brought in to be part of that quote-unquote B team for England in the one-day international series. Impressed getting out Pakistan's best batter in Babar Azam multiple times. Forced his way into this T20 squad. Just has a little false start there in his run-up. Eoin Morgan just stops him. He wants to adjust the field. Now the fielder from fine leg inside the circle is going to move across to backward point. They just want to switch fielders there, Eoin Morgan. He wants specific people in specific positions. Gives you an idea of how precise he is. In comes Saqib Mahmood to Hasan Ali. Starts with a short ball outside off. Hasan Ali goes for a wild swing. Misses the ball. Goes through to the keeper. It's a dot ball, 135 for 6.
Yeah, just when you... At this stage of the innings, you have all your best fielders on the boundary, so that the field change there was Dawid Malan was at backward point. He's moved him from there to short fine leg. You might say that's out of the way and trying to hide a fielder at this stage of the innings. David Willey, who's a slightly better fielder, he's gone to backward point.
Well, he's been very good at his field positions, Eoin Morgan. He just sat out the previous game, of course, let Josh Buttler take over for a game. And he did very well as well, winning that game for England as captain. As in comes Mahmood, the short one. This one's been pulled high, it's been pulled long, it's been pulled into the crowd by Hasan Ali. Well, that noise tells you everything. A big shot to get Hasan Ali off the mark with a 6. Pakistan 141 for 6. That was quite the blow.
Yeah, huge blow. It's probably the biggest part of the ground there. He's cleared the rope with ease. It's a slightly slow ball from Saqib Mahmood, dragged into the surface, but sat up. And Hasan Ali was waiting for it, and it's a fantastic strike. We've sung Saqib Mahmood's praises today, and this series he has bowled fantastically well. But if there's one criticism, it is his death bowl, and it's maybe not choosing the right balls at the right time.
And he comes now to Hasan Ali, going a little bit fuller that time. It's been hit hard by Hasan Ali out to Moeen Ali in the covers. And the batters take a single. I mean, he could do well to just look at the other end and see how Chris Jordan does it. He goes for the full Yorker length balls, and Saqib's sort of persisting with the shorter stuff. Yeah,
he's learning all the time, and I think he will learn a lot from this experience. He'll learn from the guys around him. As you say, Chris Jordan, fantastic at the death. And he'll learn from, the best place to learn is out there in the middle, bowling at some of the best batsmen in the world. And Rizwan, obviously, at the minute, one of the best T20 players there is around. So I think this will do him the world of good. it's not just about choosing the right ball at the right time, it's about executing your skill as well. So if you choose a Yorker, you've got to make sure you absolutely nail it and get in the block hole.
It's a challenging period at the death now. Saqib Mahmood, he's got Mohammad Rizwan, all 73 runs of him on strike. As in he comes, he bowls, it's wide outside off stump, quite a long way wide enough to be given a wide. And well, again, Saqib Mahmood, maybe a little bit of inexperience kicking in, maybe a little bit of pressure, playing here on his own ground as well. 143 for 6 now, the Pakistan scores. Saqib wasn't happy, he felt he was slightly hard done by, but it was a wide.
Yeah, he thinks that the batsman's moved over, which he did. He moved across to the offside, but he didn't move that far. He just sort of moved just outside off stump. And he's thrown that way wide of the wide line marker that the umpires use, and quite rightly it's a wide.
Now then, how can he follow it up? In comes Saqib Mahmood, fuller this time, inside the tram line this time, and Rizwan can just dig it down to long on for a single. Again, Rizwan sort of wanted 2 there. There was never 2 runs there. Hasan Ali giving him a big loud call of no, and it had to be loud here at Old Trafford to come through. We saw that with that Imad Wasim run-out dismissal. In Rizwan's mind, it was always 3. In Imad's mind, it was always 2. There was never a question of anything different in either of their thought processes.
For me, it was poor running from Imad. It was definitely 3. Rizwan made it comfortably, but Imad jogged the first 2 rather than pushing for that 3rd.
Yeah. He's back in the hut. He'll be thinking about that. Remember, World T20 places still to contend for both teams. 144 for 6. In comes Saqib Mahmood to Hasan Ali. He bowls. Hasan Ali has a big swing. Ball takes a top edge. It beats Josh Buttler. And it's gone to the boundary for 4. They'll take them any way they come right now, Pakistan. It wasn't pretty, but it is a boundary. 148 for 6.
Yeah, it might look like that's unlucky for Saqib Mahmood. It's an edge just past Josh Buttler. He just went over his head. It's a length ball. It's a length ball wide of off stump with pace on. 86 miles an hour that ball. So it might look unlucky, but it's not executed a skill. I struggle to know what he's actually trying to bowl there with this field that he's got. It's just a wide length ball. It is a bit unfortunate, but still 4 runs.
Now then, and he comes for his final delivery. Mahmood, he bowls a fuller ball this time. It takes an under edge, and the fielder inside that circle in the fine leg area will recover. So a single taken. Pakistan 149 for 6 with 1 over to come. And slightly expensive over that from Saqib Mahmood. And Pakistan's batting card, well, it starts well with Mohammad Rizwan at the top, 74 not out, but nobody else could really get in. We saw Fakhar Zaman get 24 off 20. Babar, Sohaib and Mohammad Hafeez all done in by the spin of Adil Rashid. Some very astute field placing by Eoin Morgan as well. So a great catch from Liam Livingstone at mid-wicket to dismiss Shadab Khan, and then the run out to dismiss Imad Wasim. Now we've got Hasan Ali. He's got 12 off 5 so far. He's going to be on strike for this final over, and it's going to be from the death ball specialist, which is Chris Jordan. What does he get so right that Saqib Mahmood is getting wrong at the moment?
Well, I think it's more execution than anything. So it's all well and good thinking, right, I'll bowl a slow ball this ball, but it's actually where you bowl the slow ball. It's got to be accurate. You can't just lob a slow ball down there. Similar with a Yorker, you've got to be precise with it and get it in that block hole, so it's hard for the batsman to get underneath it and get it away.
I was going to say, Jimmy, in modern cricket we've seen a lot of bowlers shy away from bowling Yorkers at the death. Why do you think they've started doing that?
I think because batters have become wise to it, and they're so good at hitting balls that are just marginally either side of Yorker length. They're good at hitting those low full tosses for 6. They're good at hitting the half volleys for 6.
Small margins. In comes Chris Jordan now. That's a very good ball. It was nice and full. Hasan Ali had a big swing at that, never got in line. It's a dot ball for England. Score remains 149 for 6. Sorry, Jimmy.
No, just to carry on from that, it's just about executing that skill. And there, Chris Jordan, it's not a perfect Yorker, but to a number 8, you can get away with those, and he did. And Hasan Ali punches his bat as if he should have actually made connection with that.
He just didn't quite get in line with Hasan Ali. Jordan, he's got figures of 0 for 25 so far from his 3.1 overs, and he comes now. He bowls a full ball. This time Hasan Ali does make connection. It's gone high up in the air. It just clears the fielder, backing up for extra cover. And the sweeper Liam Livingstone will get the ball back in. The batters take 2. Pakistan's 150 comes up. 151 for 6. And there are 4 balls to come in this innings.
You can just see how much Mohammad Rizwan's chomping at the bit to get back down the striker's end. He's looking for 3 there when there was never 3. And he's just had a chat as well in between balls there.
Hasan Ali is going to be the man on strike. He's got 14 off 7, 200 strike rate, not bad. In comes Chris Jordan. This is full. It's a perfectly executed Yorker. Went between the stumps and the batter. 90 miles an hour from Chris Jordan as well. And most crucially, a dot ball.
Yeah, that is perfect execution of the Yorker. 90 miles an hour. Just angling into the right-handed batsman. And he can't get back on it. It misses leg stump by millimetres.
In his follow-through, he managed to hit himself on the head with the bat as well. Well, Chris Jordan causing some problems. 3 balls to go here for Pakistan. How far can they get? As Jordan comes in, he bowls another full, fast Yorker. Dug out by Hasan Ali into the mid-on region. Jason Roy does a sliding stop and just a single taken. So 152 for 6. It's excellent stuff this from Chris Jordan, showing why he's got that tag of death ball specialist.
Yeah, he's doing really well here. Good start to the over. First 4 balls. Now has to see it out. Rizwan, the danger man, on strike now. He's been itching for the strike this over. He's finally got it. He'll be looking to finish this innings with a bang.
Now 2 balls to come. Again, Eoin Morgan taking his time, just setting his field. Chris Jordan making sure he's got everybody where they want them. Fine leg is coming up inside the circle, as is deep third. But there is a long on and a long off now. 2 men in the deep on the leg side, a sweeper in the covers. So if there's runs in the deep, they're going to have to come from behind the batter. Well, let's see what happens as Chris Jordan runs in. Rizwan dances around the stumps. He was looking for the lap shot, mis-executes it in the end, and it's another dot ball from Chris Jordan. Rizwan being outfoxed right now. Score remains 152 for 6.
Yeah, that is being outfoxed. So he's bowled 4 Yorkers this over so far. Rizwan's trying to premeditate a lap sweep shot, a ramp shot. Chris Jordan, wise to it, he's bowled 90 miles an hour every ball this over. That one to Rizwan was 64 miles an hour, taking so much pace off it. That doesn't allow Rizwan to, he wants to ramp because to use the pace of the ball, but he's got no pace to work with and can't connect.
He was looking for those gaps behind the wicket. Anyway, this is the last ball now. In comes Chris Jordan. He bowls, it's short. Rizwan pulls. There's a fielder in the deep. It'll just be the single way. They're coming back for the second. Surely they won't make it. It wasn't the best throw in the world. In the end, Rizwan dives back and makes it back for 2. So, after their 20 overs, Pakistan have reached 154 for 6. Well, immediate thoughts, Jimmy, who's going to be happier with that, England or Pakistan?
It's a bit on the spot there.
It's a bit in between, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think Pakistan will be quite happy with that. The way that the ball's turned on that pitch, I think they'll think they can defend it. But at the same time, I imagine England are going into the dressing room feeling positive. They know they've got the batting lineup, the strength and depth to be able to chase any score down on any surface. So I think both teams will be equally happy at this stage of the game.
Well, time will tell, as we can just to remind you earlier today, Babar Azam won the toss, and almost before he was asked what he was going to do, said, we're going to bat first. Maybe a correction from what happened at Leeds. Pakistan have managed to get themselves to 154 for 6 after the 20 overs, largely due to the efforts of their wicket-keeping opening batter, Mohammad Rizwan. 76 of 57 deliveries for him. And for England, Adil Rashid, the star of the show, 4 wickets from his 4 overs, giving away just the 35 runs. And Moeen Ali, a great supporting effort from him as well. 4 overs, 1 for 19. So, we're going to be back very, very shortly. Ellie Oldroyd, what did you make of that performance? Who do you think is ahead?
I think it's so brilliantly balanced. I mean, listening to Jimmy, it just feels like those ought to be runs that England feel they can get with the way that they bat all the way down, as we said, to Liam Livingstone coming in at number 7 in that batting lineup. But I think, I don't want you to think, guys, the fact that England have got this range of bowling options as well, that you've got Adil Rashid taking 4, you've got Moeen taking 1 as well, and then you've got Chris Jordan bowling at the depth, at the death, Jimmy. It feels as a really, just kind of indicates how strong England are in all departments.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got really exciting options. They've got all bases covered for various conditions. And I think even Liam Livingstone tonight, he didn't take a wicket. We went at 7 and over in his three overs. It's doing a job for his captain, and I think he's someone who can actually develop into a really good bowler and someone who can compete at this level. But yeah, I just felt like it was a pretty good performance all round. That last over from Chris Jordan, absolutely outstanding.
Thank you, Jimmy. A quick word from you, Atif, before you go off and get a cup of tea as well. From Pakistan, Babar Azam obviously had that sense that, they are going to put a score on the board and then they're going to restrict England. Who will be the key bowlers for them?
Well, it's going to be the spinners, just as Jimmy said. We've got Usman Qadir to look forward to seeing today. Very exciting bowler, son of a Pakistani late great legend Abdul Qadir, who is widely credited for perfecting the googly. So he's very, very good. We're looking forward to seeing him in action today. I can just see him warming up right now. He'll be something to look at. But it'll be those spinners. It'll be Shadab. We might even see Hafeez have a bowl. Did they learn from that England performance? Because it was the spinners, both here and in Leeds, who put the brakes on for them. They'll want to do the same thing in return.
It's going to be a really fascinating run chase from an England point of view. They'll start that in just under 10 minutes' time. You're listening to live cricket on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra on this beautiful sunlit Manchester evening. It's just kind of pale blue, the sky now. The floodlights just very slightly starting to take over from the sun, which is sinking gently below what we call the party stand here at Old Trafford. And it's really warm still. 20-something degrees as we head into the evening, and we're going to round up the day's sports news in just a second and look ahead to the big fight involving Anthony Joshua with Mike Costello after the news on 5 Live with Aaron Paul.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Ellie. Good evening. Labour has accused the government of mixed messages over COVID self-isolation rules in England. Number 10 was forced to clarify that people should follow notifications from the contact tracing phone app after the business minister, Paul Scully, had claimed any decision on whether to self-isolate was personal choice. Professor Stephen Riker, an expert in behavioural psychology, said clear advice was crucial.
All the polling shows that most people are motivated to do the right thing to protect themselves and to protect their communities. But if they're to act responsibly, the government needs to take its responsibilities seriously as well, and in partnership we'll move forward. If people aren't supported by the government, then basically telling them it's all up to them is an abdication of responsibility. It's not an increase of responsibility.
Downing Street has issued the first exemptions from self-isolation for fully vaccinated workers in critical industries. The change is expected to only apply to a small number of professions. New Brexit tensions have emerged between the European Union and the UK over border arrangements for Gibraltar. The territory wasn't included in last year's trade agreement, so a deal must be brokered separately. It is understood the Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab is particularly concerned about the bloc's plan for Spanish officials to get greater responsibility. Scotland Yard say a 3-year-old girl has been left with life-changing injuries after she was hit by an e-scooter in South London. The crash happened in Lambeth last night. The man riding the scooter is understood to have apologised, but detectives still want him to come forward to fully explain what happened. And the billionaire Jeff Bezos has blasted into space and returned to Earth all in 11 minutes. The rocket Blue Origin travelled at nearly 3 times the speed of sound. On board was 82-year-old Wally Funk, who trained to be an astronaut in the 1960s, but was passed over for a spaceflight because she was a woman.
25 years ago, in the slow-moving town of Orpington, a hero is born. Quickly, she finds her purpose. She sprints before she walks, wins races, leaving classmates standing. Faster and faster she runs, until she inspires a generation.
It's a new British record. She's a serious gold medal contender.
Now, she heads to outrun the world.
It's Dina Asher-Smith for gold!
Let's go there.
Tokyo 2020. The Olympic Games starts Friday
on 5 Live
and across the BBC. This is 5 Live Sport with Eleanor Oldroyd.
So let's talk about the news that broke today. Anthony Joshua will defend his world heavyweight titles against Alexander Usyk in September. The fight will be at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Mike Costello is 5 Live's boxing correspondent. Hello, Mike.
Evening, Ellie.
I saw Anthony Joshua posting what looked like a picture of himself on the roof of the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because I think you can do that roof walk, can't you? But I mean, this is happening because Joshua Fury has not happened.
Yeah, the fight that everybody wanted to see, the fight that was being negotiated for months and months, and at one stage it looked as though it was locked in for August the 14th in Saudi Arabia, but then that was scuppered when a judge in the United States, surprisingly to some, ruled that Fury should fight Deontay Wilder instead for a third time because of clauses in the contract around the rematch. So what we have now is Fury against Wilder 3, which was originally scheduled actually for this coming weekend, but was postponed when Fury and members of his camp tested positive for COVID, and so it's been confirmed now that fight will happen on October the 9th in Las Vegas. So 2 huge heavyweight fights within a fortnight coming up later in the year, with Joshua against Alexander Usyk on September the 25th. No consolation for the many fans who want to see only Joshua against Fury, but at least the heavyweight division is giving us the sense that it's coming alive again. And Joshua against Usyk on September the 25th at Tottenham, by the time it comes around, will be a massive occasion. 60,000 fans, maybe more, expected, and pressure on Joshua to defend his 3 versions of the world title, the WBA, WBO and IBF belts, and so keep on track for what is his long-stated ultimate ambition to claim the undisputed crown sometime next year against the winner of that third fight between Fury and Wilder.
And how much of a test will Usyk be for Joshua?
I think it's a huge test. He's, for me, one of the world's great fighters on the current scene. We've seen him in action on a number of occasions in this country. As an amateur, he won gold, like Joshua, at London 2012. Usyk won in the heavyweight division and Joshua in the super heavyweight division. And therein lies, I think, part of the puzzle in analysing this fight. It's the good big man against the good little man. And Usyk has been undisputed world champion in the cruiserweight division, which has a limit of 14 stone 4 pounds, so some 4 stones south of where Anthony Joshua normally boxes, and his last fight, Usyk, in that cruiserweight division was against Tony Bellew in Manchester in 2018, and he won very impressively in the 8th round. And then he moved up to the heavyweight division, and last time out in October of last year at Wembley, behind closed doors, he outpointed Derek Chisora. So now he's stepping up again. The bookmakers have him as second favourite against Joshua, but there's many a good judge in boxing, Ellie, who gives Alexander Usyk a solid chance of beating Joshua.
So is this a risky strategy by Anthony Joshua then? Because the big picture presumably is still that unification fight with Tyson Fury.
It is, but he didn't have a choice in terms of holding on to his belts, because Usyk is the mandatory challenger for his WBO version of the world heavyweight title. And that's what will be a problem for Joshua or Fury or Wilder, whoever one day might own all 4 belts, because the 4 different governing bodies have different number 1 contenders, different mandatory challengers, and so it's going to be next to impossible for any one of them to stay undisputed champion for any length of time. But Joshua's not for giving up even one of those belts at the moment, and so because the mandatory challenge is due against Alexander Usyk, it's a fight, a risky one, that he has to take.
Thank you very much indeed. That's our boxing correspondent, Mike Costello. England's batsmen are on their way out to the middle. They're going to be chasing 155 to beat Pakistan and win this 3-match T20 series. A couple of other sports headlines for you this evening on 5 Live Sport. All 3 Lions tests against South Africa will now take place in Cape Town because of the coronavirus pandemic. The 2nd and 3rd tests were due to be played in Johannesburg. Meanwhile, South Africa's World Cup winning captain Siya Kolisi has recovered from COVID-19 and will start Saturday's first test. And fans attending sports venues with capacities of around 20,000 or more may be required to show proof of full vaccination from the end of September. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says there's a plan to order certification at nightclubs and other venues where large crowds gather. Huge, passionate crowd here at Old Trafford, absolutely gripped by what could be a really brilliant run chase. England chasing 155 to beat Pakistan in their final white ball game of the summer. And let's resume commentary with Atif Nawaz.
Thank you, Ellie. Yep, the players are all out there. Everybody's ready. It will be quite the spectacle. England, I feel on balance, on top here. We'd back them to get 155 in most T20s, but we know Pakistan have a lot of spin on their disposal, and this pitch is taking a lot of turn. So there might be some drama here at Old Trafford. Imad Wasim now coming in to Jason Roy. He starts with one that's just back of a length. And Roy just belts that one to extra cover. There's no run. There's a slight lull in the crowd right now. It's almost the calm before the storm. That noise is just temporarily dipped as the expectations build, as in comes Imad Wasim. This is shorter, and again Roy can't find the gap, finds the fielder extra cover. There is no run. Short and flat so far from Imad. He's not necessarily trying to give the ball flight or turn it sharply, and he comes again, a bit straighter this time. And Roy just defends the ball back to him for no run. 3 dots in a row to start this England innings. I've got Jimmy Anderson alongside me. As we suspected, Jimmy, it's not going to be straightforward for England.
No, it's not at all, especially spin opening the bowl, and I think this is a sign of things to come.
In comes Imad again. This time Jason Roy is able to just punch that down to long off to get off the mark and get England going. Their first run coming off the 4th delivery of the first over. I think they possibly learned a little bit from that Pakistan performance as well, just to hold back a little bit. You don't need to go big straight away, especially when you've got the marker of 155.
Yeah, and I think we might see England just using the sort of area of this ground a little bit more, trying to chip it into pockets and get 2s and 3s rather than just going for the big shot all the time. I think that when Pakistan looked to go for the big shot, it looked tricky.
Well, Josh Buttler on strike now. As in comes Imad Wasim, and Buttler happy to just drive that down to the long off region. He's off the mark as well with a single. England 2 for no loss. Josh Buttler, of course, with that magnificent, what turned out to be match-winning 50 for England in the second T20 of this series. He was captain in the previous game as well. As in comes Imad now for the last ball of the first over. This time Roy again happy to just belt that ball down to long off for a single. Bit of a stalemate at the moment between these teams after 1 over. England 3 for no loss. And again, just a little bit of a hush. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like it, but this is a comparative hush in the crowd as they're awaiting something big to happen.
Yeah, I think if there's a wicket, we might hear a little bit more noise, a few more horns. But right now, it just looks like it's just a bit of a lull. But I think this is. I don't expect to see massive shots from this England opening pair. I think they'll also take the time, the same way Babar, Azam and Rizwan did in the Pakistan innings. I'd be surprised if these two try to take any undue risks, certainly in this first few overs.
Well, it's going to be the pace of Shaheen Afridi to open from the other end. I suspect how many overs he bowls will depend very much on how this one goes. And we do expect Pakistan to lean on that spin bowling attack today. Could bowl 20 overs of spin here, Pakistan. They've got the resources, not full time, but they do have the options. Anyway, Shaheen is at the top of his run. He's got a slip in place, some protection in the deep on the leg side, and a deepish set third man. Now in comes Shaheen to Jason Roy. He bowls a length ball. Jason Roy carves that through the gap in the covers, and that is England's first boundary. Big cheer here at Old Trafford. England 7 for no loss after 1.1 overs.
Yeah, lovely shot from Jason Roy. Got a little bit of width from Shaheen Afridi. Pace on the ball, 88 miles an hour. That ball just has to use the pace, guides it through the point region, dissecting the field. Really well placed shot. Didn't try and overhit it, just used the pace and timed it beautifully.
Yeah. That's what Jason Roy can be, so destructive in so many ways for England. As in comes Shaheen Afridi, slightly better length that time as the ball's hit back to him, and he does that theatrical thing of threatening to throw the stumps down in his follow through. In the end, he'll take the dot ball and go back to his mark. Better length that time.
Yeah, and line as well. Line was straighter, didn't allow Jason Roy to use any width tucking him up a little bit. And I think that's what you've got to try and do to Jason Roy early on. Try and just starve him. If you let him get outside off stump and get his hands free, that's where he's dangerous.
Shaheen Afridi, he's bowled well in the series so far. He's got 4 wickets from the 2 games thus far. And he comes now, he bowls like another good length ball, just teases that inside edge. Just gets a bottom edge on it that time, does Jason Roy, as it goes on the bounce to the keeper. Smile from Mohammad Rizwan as there's another dot ball. Bowled beautifully at Trent Bridge with Shaheen. 3 wickets for 30 there. Within himself, very young age, 21, already leading the bowling attack. So keen to play every game that comes his way. Doesn't want to sit out anything. Was offered the chance by the PCB to take a rest when they toured Zimbabwe. He said, no, I want to go. In comes Shaheen now. Good length ball. This one's been smashed over mid-wicket by Jason Roy. 1 bounce into the fence. Well, bit fuller. And that cross-batted swing of Jason Roy connects. 11 for no loss after 1.4 overs.
Yeah, nice shot from Jason Roy. Using his feet. Little skip down the wicket. But really controlled shot. Doesn't try and overhit it. Just sort of a little check drive over mid-on. Nice use of the feet though. Getting out, that really disturbs a bowler's length. It can really affect you if you're just trying to settle into your spell. Batsman comes out of his crease and just upsets that length a little bit.
And the umpire was there, was just checking that it was a boundary. We've had confirmation now. It was a 1 bounce 4. And then Shaheen steaming in this time as Jason Roy makes some room outside off and just tickles this down to fine leg for another boundary. We talk about the dimensions of Jason Roy. He can hit 4s in so many different ways. That's just one of them. England 15 for no loss after 1.5 overs.
Yeah, that's really clever batting from Jason Roy. Just shuffles across the stumps a little bit over to the offside. Allows him to clip the ball. He gets the ball. It's a decent ball from Shaheen Afridi. Just back of a length, quite straight. But because he's moved across to off stump, it turns it into a leg stump ball for him. It's on his hip. He can guide it into a real vacant area behind square on the leg side.
Now then, Shaheen coming in for the final delivery of his first over. This is short. It's been pulled by Jason Roy. It's going to go to the boundary in the leg side again. A very expensive over from Shaheen Afridi. He's gone for 16. England on the march. 19 for no loss after 2 overs.
I feel like we've got 4 different dimensions of Jason Roy in that over. We've got a classical extra cover drive, sort of square of the wicket through the covers, with a dance down the pitch over the top, little clip through the leg side for 4, and that one was bludgeoned. I was expecting it just back of a length. Just a great shot, pull shot through the leg side, but timed brilliantly. Really putting pressure on Shaheen Afridi.
Now, after that economical first over from Imad Wasim that went for 3, England have evened things up very quickly. 19 for no loss after 2 overs. In comes Imad now for a second over. Fuller ball, just been pushed to extra cover, and there is no run. Do you, Jimmy, expect to see another over from Shaheen?
I'd be surprised. I would be surprised. We might see another seamer, but I wouldn't put it past them to bring more spin on.
In comes Imad now. This one's short. It's been hit high up in the air over the extra cover fielder, and it'll just trickle into the fence in the covers. Applause ring around Old Trafford. People are dancing, they're singing, they're enjoying themselves. England 23 for no loss after 2.2.
I just don't know how he plays this shot, Jos Buttler. We've seen it a few times this series. On the back foot off the spinner and goes aerial over extra cover. Times it brilliantly. Most people look to hit that along the deck. He's quite happy to hit it into a vacant area in extra cover.
Imad Wasim in once again, this time under edge from Jos Buttler, and there is no run. Yeah, I describe that shot as sort of, when you're making a pizza at home and you're spinning pizza dough and you try and flick it up in the air and catch it in your hands again. Imagine you weren't trying to catch it, you were trying to chuck it at someone's face. That's kind of how Jos Buttler plays that shot. In comes Imad Wasim. Down the track comes Jos Buttler this time. Thick inside edge into the mid-wicket area. They take the first one quickly. They want a second. They don't take it. Good piece of fielding at mid-wicket there by Hasan Ali. England 24 for no loss after 2.4 overs. Making a bright start here in their pursuit of 155 to win this Vitality T20 series against Pakistan 2-1. Remember, Pakistan took a 1-0 lead in this series. England came back strong in that second game at Leeds, looking to close this out here. Imad Wasim in once again from wide of the crease and just squaring up Jason Roy a little bit there. He just pushes the ball to mid-off, and there is no run. Score remains 24 for no loss. It's a big call for Babar Azam, who bowls the next over. Imad Wasim in from wide of the crease once again. Lots of flight given this time. Aggressive cut shot from Jason Roy. Can't beat extra cover. And there is no run. So, 5 runs off that over. England 24 for no loss after 3 overs. It's been a very bright start, particularly from Jason Roy. Well, we've already seen spin being a little bit more difficult to attack on this pitch than the seam. Now we're going to find out who's going to bowl the next over. Well, there's quite the atmosphere here at Old Trafford. We've heard some great sporting songs this season. There's been a heck of a playlist going on. Are you a big fan of 500 Miles?
Yeah, it's a particular favourite of mine.
I don't know what it's called. I think of it as the da-da-da song. Right, it is going to be a different seam bowler. It's going to be Hasan Ali, who's recovered from his thigh injury. Rolled him out of the first T20. He's going to come into bowl the 4th over. England 24 for no loss. Hasan Ali's got a terrific average in this form of the game, 21, as in he comes to bowl to Jos Buttler. It's down the leg side, and it has been given a wide by the umpire. Well, it's not the kind of comeback you want. 25 for no loss after 3 overs. Bustling in really hard there as well, Hasan Ali, 85 miles an hour. Is it important to sort of ease yourself back into your work if you're really coming back from a thigh injury?
It's hard to ease yourself into a T20 international. You've got to bowl at Jos Buttler and Jason Roy. You've got to hit your straps pretty early on.
And see what he can do here as he comes into Jos Buttler, does Hasan Ali. Jos Buttler aiming for the scoop shot, missing the ball. It wasn't far away from the stumps as well. As Rizwan collects with an anguished look on his face. And it's a dot ball. Good slow ball that.
Yeah, early change of pace into the 4th over. Looks like Pakistan have already learnt from how England bowled and what the ball was doing, what was difficult to hit. And that ball just going over the top of middle stump by millimetres.
In comes Hasan Ali again this time. A length ball has been driven nicely by Jos Buttler, but only as far as the cover fielder. And there is no run. It's done so well to reinvent himself, Hasan Ali. Made a very bright start to his career. Discovered in the PSL, the very first PSL. The first big discovery for Pakistan from that tournament. And after that became a mainstay and suffered a debilitating injury that took him out of the international game for 24 months. Made a comeback with a bang as captain of the Central Punjab team in Pakistan's domestic system. For a 99-run innings in the final of a 4-day game to tie that competition in quite extraordinary circumstances. And now he's back in a leadership position in the Pakistan side. As in he comes to Jos Buttler. He bowls, Buttler pushes. Again, only as far as point. Fakhar Zaman quickly onto the ball. It's another dot. Corrected himself quite well after that first straying in line.
Yeah, you could see what, I mean, you don't want to bowl a wide, but I could see what he's trying to do. He's trying to bowl very tight and not give any width to these two batters. So it's quite easy to do when you're bowling straight. As a bowler, you don't want to give any width whatsoever. You can stray down leg side, but you're not too fussed about that, really.
Well, fine leg is up inside the circle. As in comes Hasan Ali, nice and full. It's been hit back to him in his follow-through, but on the bump. And another dot ball. The pressure building slightly on Jos Buttler. He's got 6 off 9. Hasan Ali's bowled a good pace here. The slower one was 68 miles an hour, but everything else is the 80s and close to 90. Seems like he's healed up quite well. And fine leg and third man up inside the circle. As in comes Hasan Ali. It's full. It's been hit high up in the air into the mid-wicket region. It'll trickle down to the fielder in the deep. They'll run back for 2 and make it comfortably in the end. Good bit of running that from England. England move on to 27 for no loss after 3.5 overs.
I feel like we didn't see enough of that from Pakistan. As soon as it gets hit into the outfield, Roy and Buttler scampered that first one so quick to give them the best chance to get back for two if it was on, and it was that time. They managed to get back for two, whereas I feel Pakistan were a little bit just off the pace with that first single. They didn't push it hard enough, then they weren't able to turn those ones into twos.
Now, Babar, Azam and Hasan Ali both yelling into the leg side. They're trying to get the fielder in the exact right position, gesticulating wildly with their arms. It's Hasan Ali, and he comes again. This time another attempted scoop shot by Jos Buttler, doesn't connect, and in the end it's another dot ball. Good comeback in that over from Hasan Ali, just the 3 runs off it in the end. England after 4 overs are 27 for no loss. Babar will be pleased with that effort from Hasan Ali, particularly after the last seam over went for 16.
Yeah, brilliant over. And it was almost like he could read Jos Buttler's mind, because every time he tried a ramp shot, he took the pace off the ball to make it even harder for him to play it. So really intelligent bowling. And those, the fuller balls, 90 miles an hour, again, very difficult to hit when you get them in the right area.
England doing okay so far. They need 128 more runs to win this game from 96 deliveries. Got plenty of time. Just have to hold their nerve here. Pakistan coming at them hard. Imad Wasim continuing for his 3rd consecutive over. And he comes, lots of flight given. This one's been hit hard by Jason Roy, down the ground, over the long on boundary. It's 6. Jason Roy picking up where he left off. He's on to 24 now. England 33 for no loss. What a blow.
Yeah, really good shot. Didn't use his feet, just from the crease. There's a big sort of lofted on drive. Goes all the way. I think it's really intelligent batting. They've used the first 4 overs just getting the pace of the pitch, and now they're looking to expand a little bit.
Imad Wasim in from wide of the crease once again, back of a length this time, driven by Jason Roy, but just to the fielder at point. There is no run. 33 for no loss. Jason Roy is one of those players who can just relieve pressure at any given time. You don't look away when Jason Roy is batting. Can always make things happen. He's being tempted by that big shot over long on as well. A little bit quicker this time from Imad, and Roy's onto it quickly. He swivels, he pulls it into the boundary on the leg side this time. Another 4. Jason Roy is flying here. He's on to 28. Imad Wasim has got to rethink his plans here. England 37 for no loss after 4.3 overs. Pakistan under pressure.
But again, a pretty low risk shot as well. Just using the pace, picking the gap.
Bit quicker and flatter that time from Imad Wasim. Has just been chopped into the offside. And they've run through for a single. And Babar Azam is not happy. He's just gesturing to his fielder there to be in the right area. He wants to make sure the fielders that are on the one are on the one. 38 for no loss. 2 balls to come in the 5th over. Jos Buttler on strike now. He's got 8 from 11. In comes Imad. Down the track comes Jos Buttler. Under edge. Almost onto the stumps. Almost towards Rizwan. He was a long way down the pitch as well. Almost caught in no man's land there, Jos Buttler. A little under edge saved him in the end. They run through for a single. England 39 for no loss.
Turn and bounce for Imad. Yeah. Promising signs for Pakistan. Yeah, just give these 2 English batsmen a little bit of food for thought there.
In comes Imad again, a bit fuller. Just quickly onto Roy, who attempts a pull shot. Doesn't quite execute it as he would have liked, so it's a dot ball to finish the over, but a fruitful one for England. 12 off it after 5 overs. England 39 for no loss. Jimmy Addison, your thoughts so far on this England chase? And in a minute, you're going to be joined by Charles Dagnall.
Yeah, I think a pretty good start for England. They'll be happy with none down, 39 off the 5. And these 2, you feel like if they give themselves time to get in, they can be really devastating as the innings goes on. I think England will be looking, now they've got to this point, first 5 overs, pretty comfortable. They'll be looking for one of these 2 to go on and bat through the whole innings.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Jim. It's the thing is about this England response is all about the leg spinning duo of Pakistan. Well, Hasan Ali it is. comes on from the stay the men, bowls a beautiful Yorker with a hint of movement back in to Josh Buttler, and there is no run. He's dug it out well. 39 without loss, and Warriors 29 of those 39. Buttler 9 off 13. All of the ground now in shade, even though we can still see the sun rising above the parties. Well, not rising, falling. If it was rising,
the other way, mate.
Yeah, it's the other way. It's coming downwards, isn't it? That's right. Here's Hasan Ali, showing orange soles of his shoes as he comes in. And is he caught behind? No. Rizwan is celebrating, but no movement from the bowler. Good pace delivery. Taken on the rise by Mohammad Rizwan, 89 miles an hour. That looked slippery, and indeed it was.
It looked really slippery, yeah. He's bowling really well here. He's kissed the surface really nicely, beaten Josh Buttler for pace, and beats the outside edge. But yeah, fantastic bowling.
Rizwan fooled me and many Pakistan supporters around the ground who thought they'd seen the back of Josh Buttler. He waits for Hasan Ali. Bowls, and Buttler just neatly plays this into the leg side, and they scamper through for a single out to mid-on. Moves England to 40 without loss. Loves the atmosphere, he loves the fight, does Hasan Ali. Still go back to that Champions Trophy in 2017 in this country where he was an absolute star. His celebrations were something to behold. He's cranking it up this evening at Old Trafford from the Statham end. Floodlights starting to take over from the natural light. Four shadows splaying different directions from the feet of the fielders. As Roy waits, 5 in the offside ring. Come closer as Hasan runs in, and he gets right across his stumps, and he tries to lap it over short, fine leg. Doesn't connect. I think Hasan Ali took a little pace off it. 78 miles an hour. Goes through to the keeper, no run.
That's 3 times he's done that now. He's almost guessed, or he's known that the batter wants to hit that ramp shot. Did it twice to Josh Buttler, and then Jason Roy. All 3 times he's taken pace off the ball to make it really hard for them to hit it. It's really either clever bowling. If he's able to take that pace off at such a late stage after he's seen them move, but either way, very good.
Hasan this time bowls a full delivery, driven down the ground, beaten mid-on, 4 runs. Lofted drive, it was hit firmly, not far away from the follow-through of the bowler, but safe enough for Jason Roy, who's got a smile on his face as he touches the gloves of Josh Buttler and moves England to 44 without loss.
Beautiful shot down the ground, classical on drive. It wasn't quite half volley, it was a decent length, a little bit aerial, but safe enough. But Hasan Ali, typical bowler, not happy with where his fielder was. Even though you put him there, mate, he's ended up in the wrong place, and he's gesturing that he should have been deeper and straighter.
The floppy hair of Hasan Ali just bobs up and down. He starts his run up and stops and starts again. Away from us, he scuttles and bowls another slower delivery, which jags back into Roy. Has to take a quick single shot at the stumps at the batsman's end. Buttler lost his bat as he was trying to make his ground. No damage done as the ball didn't connect with the stumps, and Hasan ends up in a heap on the floor. And it wasn't for lack of effort from the bowler to try and run out Josh Buttler. So the power play overs are done, and England have made their way to 45 without loss. And so far, so good in the chase.
Yeah, just comfortable for England. They've not taken any big risks. They've just played good cricket shots, solid shots, played to their strengths, put the bad ball away when they've got one. And I think they'll be pretty happy with this. They know that the danger overs are coming. The danger overs are the 2 leg spinners in the middle of this innings, and how England manage those is how pretty much going to depend on the outcome of the game. Will have an effect on the outcome of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see one right now in Usman Khadir, 27 years of age. He's played 12 matches in his international T20 career with a best of 4 for 13. Decent economy as well of 7, just over 7. son of Abdul Qadir. His first look in T20 internationals in this series, and he's ready to go. Very much like his dad, spinning the ball from hand to hand. At a little bit of a wide angle, he starts his run from the James Anderson end, long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, deep cover as he reaches for the first delivery from a full length. Does Jason Roy, drives it down the ground for a single. 46 without loss. Just take a look at that field again. So deep cover, long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. Fine leg is actually very fine. Imad Wasim inside the circle. There's a third man, backward point and a cover inside the circle. Usman Khadir towards us. Pretends to bowl, and Jos Buttler shaped to go for a reverse sweep or switch hit, and he stopped the Usman Khadir in his action. Wry smile on his face. Didn't let go of the ball, and now he does. A short delivery, and Buttler does it again, and this time he's successful, and it goes for 4. Maybe Usman Khadir was more put off than Jos Buttler as he pitched it halfway down. Orthodox leg break, and Buttler just helped it on its way to the deep point boundary for 4 more. It brings up England's 50-50 without loss.
Yeah, I mean, he could have played an orthodox shot at that and still got 4 for it. It was a pretty average delivery, dragged down, short, but if you can reverse hit like that, then why not do that?
Khadir close to the stumps, he's reversed again, and he's not quite beaten the dive of Hasan Ali. In fact, it's Mohammad Hafeez at backward point, and a single is taken. Full toss this time, so he's not found his range quite yet, Usman Khadir. Well built, strong lad. Come past umpire Alex Wolf now as Roy waits for him. Again, it's short, and it's a reverse, and it's 4 runs. And he's not having a great deal of success, and Pakistan aren't in combating the abnormal nature of England's shot selection. They've only played a couple of orthodox shots, if you like, but the reverse is proving to be quite productive for England. 55 without loss.
Yeah, I wonder if they've had a chat about this and thought that's the best way to go, because they're both playing it pretty well. Good connection from Jason Roy there. Pick the gap in the between backward point and even more backward point. I don't know what those fielders are called.
Yes, as Khadir this time bowls on a length, and this is swept away in an orthodox fashion, and it will bring 4 to England. Doesn't really matter what Usman Khadir is bowling at the moment, and that wry smile has turned into a grimace for the bowler. Swept for 4 to deep backward square. England feasting at the moment, 59 without loss.
Yeah, again, a pretty low risk shot, just rolling the wrists on an orthodox sweep. There's a big gap between man on 45 inside the circle and deep square leg. There's a huge gap there, so if you just get a bit of bat on it, you're likely to get 2, maybe even 4, as Jason Roy did there.
Quick conversation between Babar Azam and Usman Khadir. Runs coming too frequently for England from Babar's point of view. 14 so far off the over. 1 ball remains. Roy is 43 not out. He waits for Khadir, and it's a sweep attempted again, and a half an appeal, but the ball pitched out way outside of leg. It rattles Roy on the pad. I think it will be signalled as leg byes. Indeed it is, and it's the end of the 7th over. England 60 without loss. Roy is 43, Buttler is 15 on 5 Live. And 5 Live Sports Extra. Great to have your company this Tuesday evening. Don't forget you can watch in-play highlights via the BBC Sport website and app. Catch the T20 cricket highlights tonight on BBC 2 at 11:15 with Jimmy Anderson and Ebony Rainford-Brent, who has wandered in next to me.
Hello, Charles.
Hello, Ebony.
I'm enjoying watching this. I think what I'm seeing is England are just so good. Like, in theory, the spinner coming on with the field set back when things should have started to calm down.
Yeah.
And they just made it look so easy, taking 3 boundaries, reverse sweeps, all the skill sets just to release pressure when Pakistan are trying to get on. So it's just a side to me that looks so well oiled. This is great preparation to come back.
Well, it's going to be Shadab who will take up the attack from the Statham end. Jason Roy surveying the scene. The leg spinner skips away from us, bowls on a good length around about middle and off. Onto the back foot goes Roy and quite happily plays it through the onside for an easy single. 61 without loss. Sun getting ever lower. Those deep blues turning into pinks and purples across the skyline over towards the north of Lancashire. Straight ahead of us, Bolton and Bury. Look out to the left, Liverpool way. Fabulous scene there at Old Trafford. Packed house, 20,000 people. Lots of noise, great entertainment. Shadab bowls, down the pitch comes Buttler, and he's not quite to the pitch, so he just held his shot back. Got in a bit of a tangle in the end as the ball clattered off pad and bat, and out into the offside it goes. There is no run. Field for Buttler, much the same. Whereas deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, deep cover. Shadab bowls, tosses this one up, and it's half an appeal from Mohammad Rizwan for LBW behind the stumps as it clatters into the pad of Josh Buttler, but umpire and bowler both not interested. Remains 61 without loss. Shadab, number 7 on his back, little flashes of orange in his shoes as the ball is lofted high by Buttler. Who's underneath it? Oh dear, oh Lord. Sohaib Maqsood, who was running from cover, had the ball in the air for a long period of time and then just watched it fall at his feet almost. He didn't even go for the catch. Should have been taken, but he got himself in a muddle, and the annoyed look across the face of Babar Azam, his captain, tells you all you need to know about the attempt and the result. Buttler should have been gone. As it is, he's picked up 2, and now he reverses Shadab down towards the third man boundary for 4, rubbing salt in the wound for Pakistan. Buttler moves to 21 off as many balls, and England 67 without loss.
He took the phrase I was going to say out of the way. Rubbing salt in the wound. He did what he needed to do. He got the ball up above the eye line, got it ripping, got Buttler surprised by the length, and ended up with a catch which should have been taken. He didn't move well, and now Butler's just eyed him up, seen the turn, and starting to manipulate the field for more boundaries.
Babar Azam is not a happy teddy. Pakistan captain needs a breakthrough. Tosses this one up, it's gone high in the air. Is there a fielder underneath it? 2 are converging. It's Babar who takes the catch. I'll show you how it's done, says the Pakistan captain. He raced off the boundary edge at mid-off. It was spooned up by Buttler, tossed up by Shadab Khan. He toe-ended it. It was in the air for a long time, but Babar made the ground, and he had a sure pair of hands. The first breakthrough for Pakistan, and my, didn't they need one. 67 for 1 at the end of the 8th over, and Buttler departs.
Another beauty there from Shadab Khan, similar to the one that he skied the ball before, getting the ball above the eye line, getting the turn off the surface, surprising Buttler with that extra movement. But I have to say, well done to Babar Azam. I felt like he told everybody, get out the way, I am the captain, and I'm not having this. I'm catching this ball. He really ran across the surface with some purpose there. And look, I think in terms of the target, there's a low target that England are chasing. What I would say, though, is these few balls here from Shadab Khan, he's had 1 over, but looked like if there's anyone who's going to have an impact, it could be him. So I would argue that Pakistan don't have enough time to wait around. I think about bowling him 2 or 3 at least on the bounce and see if he can open up the game for Pakistan.
Well, Dawid Malan comes out to join Jason Roy. A little pressure on Malan. 1 off 6 deliveries at Trent Bridge, 1 off 5 at Headingley, and that was after back-to-back ducks in one-day internationals after he scored a 68 not out in Cardiff. But just feel for him that there is a little bit of pressure on him. Places are getting sorted in Eoin Morgan's mind for the World T20 in the United Arab Emirates and Oman later on this year. Can Malan make sure that he is part of that 11? Plenty of cricketers over the last couple of weeks have forced their way into his thinking, none more so than Liam Livingstone. Moeen back in the frame as well of his performance. Malan has a slip in place. It's Usman Khadir who will continue to start the new over, the 9th from the pavilion end, the James Anderson end, and Malan tries a reverse straight away, which he sweeps into the turf, and Babar Azam, the captain, at slip fields. I don't know, I might be tempted if I'm Babar Azam just to bring another fielder up, maybe to tempt Malan. He's got 5 on the boundary at the moment as Usman Khadir trundles in, bowls, and Malan drives confidently out through the offside. He'll just pick up a single as Shaheen, Shah, Afridi fields, and a bevy of Pakistan backing up fielders run in a line, almost like the Green Arrows, all in formation in a beautifully straight line to try and back up the throw from Afridi, but it was a good one.
I have a feeling they feel they need to step it up, but poor fielding a little while ago, and then Babar raised the standard, and now they realise it's crunch time.
He's probably had a word in the huddle. Come on, lads,
sort it
stop
out.
Running around the catches. Or words to that effect. 68 for 1, 8.2 overs gone. Flags fluttering on the top of the pavilion as Usman Khadir bowls, heaved into the onside from a good length delivery from Khadir, and a single will be collected by Roy. 69 for 1.
Just thinking about the change, you were saying they're bringing the slip back in for Malan. It would most probably be the mid-off fielder to the left-hander that could come up because of natural arc, so that's an option.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like that. Bring
Tempt
up
him
mid-off.
to go against the spin.
Might be just worth it. Khadir bowls, and one that does come back, an orthodox leg break from short of a length. Malan onto the back foot, just pushes it through the offside for a single. 70 for 1.
It feels a fraction slow for me, Khadir. Look at him and Shadab Khan. Shadab Khan getting it to rip, getting above the eye line, but seems to kiss on the surface a bit more.
You're right. It doesn't feel like it's fizzing out of the hand from Usman Khadir. Now look, he's not played, but Shadab just looks in a better groove. Mexican wave has started here at Old Trafford as Usman Khadir bowls, and a reverse sweep attempted by Roy. Bit of confusion with the running. Roy wanted one and Malan wasn't quite sure, so sent him back, and Rizwan destroys the stumps with the ball that comes flying in from Sohaib Maqsood. But Roy had made his ground, and it remains 70 for 1.
The Barmy Army are here.
Well, we've got contrast. I love this. Pakistan supporters with the hooters and noisemakers, and then the Barmy Army chanting this T20 cricket. You have to love it. Fabulous atmosphere here at Old Trafford. Series on the line, remember. The wave going through the party stand over towards the pointers. Khadir bowls a full delivery, worked away through the leg side by Jason Roy. Should be 2 as Shaheen Shah Afridi runs round from long on. Left arm throw, and England pick up 2. So 9 overs gone, 72 for 1. So 60. Just having a look there at the scoreboard. 72 for 1 it is. 83 more runs to win from 66 deliveries. Oh, the crowd have gone early with the chorus. I'm sure they have. Bit of hi-ho silver lining.
They need a conductor out there in the middle just saying, right, hold it, right, you now. I'd love to see the party stand take on the Holly stand. Imagine if you could just have the other stand just temporarily, and they could go, right, your turn.
I will go with the Holly stand for dress up.
Yeah.
They will be far more eclectically dressed.
Yeah.
I think. But the party stand has got 8,000 in there, but the Hollies has got a roof. It's a tough call,
It's a tough call. I would like to see that showdown, though.
I think it's well worth it. Yeah. Here you go. They got it right this time.
They're on it. They've caught up.
All the standards are coming out now. We had the Tailenders tune, or 500 miles by the Proclaimers.
All right, Shadab Khan for me is the only one I think at the moment looks like he could turn this game for Pakistan.
Well, here he is with a slip in place, and Malan chops away at this one, almost like he's cutting a tree with an axe. And it goes out to deep point for a single, moves him to 3 from 4, 73 for 1. Just coming up to 9 o'clock. Shadab. There's no slip for Roy. It's 47 not out. He skips away from us. It's floated up and swept firmly and beautifully by Jason Roy in a lovely way to bring up your half century. He's played that shot very confidently today. He trusts the bounce here at Old Trafford. Lovely extension as well as he played the sweep shot. And only 30 balls for Jason Roy, including 9 fours and 1 6 to bring up his half century.
That's a really good way to go to it. The full extension you talked about.
Shadab again, and it's edged by Roy. This time a slip would have taken the catch, and as it is, it's going down towards the third man boundary for 4. It was a lovely piece of bowling by Shadab Khan. However, Roy will pick up a fortunate 4. He'll take it, moves to 55 in England, 81 for 1.
I'd also say these are important runs for Roy, just in terms of there's so much competition now with Liam Livingstone sneaking back in, Ben Stokes to come back in, lots of form with Buttler going well. Got to keep your name in the hat with big performances.
Shadab close to the stumps, flatter delivery, pulled almost to backward point. Another switch hit attempted by Roy, this time finding its way to Mohammad Hafeez, whose shaggy hair is just popping out underneath his cap. Shadab, number 7 on his back, quite straight run, and then he darts in at the last moment. Onto the back foot goes Roy, and the forces it away off the back foot down towards long off. Babar Azam, the captain, down there. A single picked up. 82 for 1, 9.5 overs have been bowled. England on course for a series victory. Pakistan have to try and prize Roy out somehow, get into the England middle order. Shadab again, past umpire Milnes, a full delivery, and it's punched firmly by Malan down the ground, despite the despairing dive of Shadab to his left-hand side. Can't cut it off, and a single is taken. So Malan moves to 4, steals the strike at the end of the over, and we're at the halfway stage. 10 overs have been bowled. England 83 for 1. So 72 required off 60 balls. Ebony Rain for Brent, some more from you, and then Atif Nawaz will come in.
Well, England are making this surface look considerably easier. We saw lots of turn. We still are. The difference, though, England are comfortable playing a lot of reverse shots, working with the spin rather than trying to fight it. And I think Pakistan didn't have that extra string in their bows. So at the moment, Atif, it feels like England are cruising.
It does.
However, strange things have happened, so it feels like it's got to be now.
Yeah, Pakistan have to get a wicket, and they have to get it quickly. Jason Roy has been so destructive for England today. 56 of 33 deliveries so far. He's put England very much in the driving seat. Now then, Usman Qadir to continue. He's into Malan. Gives that ball a lot of flight. Malan just dabs it to short third, and there is no run.
Still got the slip in for Malan, haven't they? In a sense, he hasn't found enough rhythm yet, just getting to the crease.
Yeah, if you're going to put pressure on, you might as well do it early.
Yeah.
There's no point putting him in another defensive position. I think Pakistan sense that it's wicket or nothing right now. As in comes Usman Qadir. A bit shorter this time, pushed by Dawid Malan out to the sweeper in the covers, single taken. So thank you so much to everybody joining us on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra as we bring you coverage of this third IT20 between England and Pakistan here at the Emirates Old Trafford in Manchester. Crowd of 21,000 enjoying the action today. As England well on course to take this 3-match series 2-1. They need 71 more from 58 deliveries. In comes Usman Qadir. Big sweep shot from Jason Roy. Has he found the gap in the leg side? Oh, well, that's an appalling piece of work from Mohammad Hasnain. Wrong-footed, slips, falls, looks undignified, and most crucially,
Cost his team 4 runs. England 88 for 1.
We're just seeing too many of these mistakes. We saw the non-catch in terms of the fielder not going for the catch. Here he's overrun it. He's run a good metre behind and then had to jump behind to try and stop it. These are the things that are the difference between teams at the top of the game and those who are trying to find some form. They're a very good team, Pakistan, but they're not stringing all the bits together.
He grits his teeth sheepishly, does Mohammad Hasnan. As you say, Abs just did more than he needed to do there. England now need 67 from 57. Well on top. Usman Qadir. In he comes again. Lots of flight given. Another sweep shot from Jason Roy. And this is going to beat the fielder at deep backward square leg. No dive from Hasnan this time. No need. It was always going for 4. Jason Roy on fire. 64 of 35 deliveries for him. England 92 for 1.
Well, this is showing how good he is. He knows the gap. He either hits it in front and then the next ball decides to hit it behind the fielder. He's almost playing with him out there. He knows the exact angle he's looking for.
Yeah. Another song joins the England playlist for the summer. Hey Baby. Not bad. In comes Qadir. Lots of flight given. This one's been up in the air. Has he got the distance to clear the fielder? There's a fielder under it. He takes the catch. Fakhar Zaman holds his nerve. Usman Qadir has a wicket. Wow. Is there a twist in the tail? Or is it too little too late? Either way, Jason Roy goes. England 92 for 2.
Just having a look there, he just almost didn't quite get to the pitch of it that he was looking for because the ball's turning. If it didn't turn, that would have been fine. He could have hit through the line, but the ball just turned off the surface at the last minute. You could sense the Pakistani fans had their hearts in their mouth at that moment when the ball's swirling in the air, thinking, please, hold on, give us some hope, maybe this could be the moment. So that could be, if Pakistan get in now, use the turn, tie things down, it might be a little window back into the game.
Yep, they'll need to think back to Leeds, think about what England did. 200 runs on that pitch in Leeds. It wasn't the biggest score, it felt very chaseable, but England bowled so astutely, particularly in that middle phase to Pakistan's top order. Can Pakistan do the same thing here? Will this wicket turn their fortunes around? Usman Qadir has had to sit out most of the matches played in this country. Has watched his team play 5 games without him. Given a go today, as Pakistan opt for the additional bowler. He's got himself a wicket. Jason Roy knew that he was out the minute he hit that ball up in the air. He was shaking his head. Fakhar Zaman took the catch. There wasn't much celebration, just a lot of relief on his face when he took it. But that could still be a match-winning innings from Jason Roy. 64 of 36 deliveries. It's exactly what you want when you're chasing that middle-ish total, 155. Well, you get rid of one big hitter, you bring in Jonny Bairstow.
Keeps coming, doesn't it?
And the hits keep coming for England, for sure. 92 for 2. 63 required of 55 as a fuller ball from Qadir has been driven out to the sweeper in the covers. They run back for 2. They make it well. Excellent running by Dawid, Malan and Jonny Bairstow. As Jimmy Vanderson pointed out a little bit earlier, they've used the size square of the wicket of this ground to great effect. England, much greater effect than Pakistan did. 94 for 2 now. They need 61 from 54 to win this game. Still, I would say, despite that wicket, heavy favourites to do so.
Yeah, every day of the week you're going to say in a white ball T20 game, 61 of 54 balls. It looks easy, and I think it's because of the amount of options they got. Are you feeling this song?
No, I do like the song, but it's a surprise. Mohammad Hafeez is going to bowl.
Ooh.
We haven't seen Mohammad Hafeez bowl in a very long time. He tends to not bowl very often for Pakistan anymore. He was very, very effective for a very long time, and then was called for a no ball for his action. And since then, Pakistan have used him very, very sparingly. Well, this feels like an in case of emergency break Hafeez glass situation.
Well, it might be. Look, he's an experienced player, 109 matches, and it might be Babar's gone up and said, listen, mate, we need to keep things tight. The ball's turning. Get us a wicket, keep things tidy.
Well,
see what he can provide.
And Jonny Bairstow is going to face his first delivery, and he's got Mohammad Hafeez coming into him. Here we go. Hafeez in to Bairstow. Flight given. Bairstow turns into the leg side. He's off the mark straight away with a single.
It's a bold call, though, isn't it? To go to a bowler you're using infrequently. I think the key is he doesn't want to go to the seamers. It's not that wicket. And maybe he's just saying, look, you can handle pressure moments. You know how to handle pressure. This is high pressure. Final game of the series. World T20 around the corner. Maybe he's just sort of leaning on the shoulder saying, look, I need you.
He's not had the best string of performances here in England, Mohammad Hafeez. He's not dead cert to be on that plane to the UAE either. He bowls a good length this time, but just punched down the ground by Malan for a single to long on.
He's firing it in nearly 60 miles an hour. Bowling stump to stump at the moment. Let's see if he can keep things contained.
A bit of pressure on Hafeez here as well. Babar Azam looks very stressed. In comes Hafeez. He bowls. It's a reverse sweep from Bairstow. There is a man out there, a deep point. Mohammad Hasnan gets the throw in. No mistakes that time. But a single taken. England 97 for 2. 58 required of 51. You get the feeling there's still some twists and turns to come. It would be befitting this series, really. That's been so closely contested. So exciting. Hafeez in once again. Just holds that one back. And Malan just defends to extra cover. Babar collects. No run.
Malan's playing a measured innings. 8 off 10 so far. Hasn't played a shot in anger. Rotating.
Hafeez in again. This time back of a length. And Malan finds the gap in the covers. He'll take the single.
It's an interesting one here, isn't it? Because Malan doesn't need to do anything but knock it around. The flip side, I'm thinking of how we've seen the Livingstones come in and express themselves. Whether if this is his last chance in a white ball game before, does he need to show...
There's another single down the ground to long on.
Yeah, I don't know. Does he need to show the brand or style of England that they want? Or is it actually, let's just get it over the line?
Wow. It feels like they're not taking anything for granted here, England, and looking to finish this job as professionally as possible. 99 for 2 after 12 overs. 56 more required to win from 48 deliveries. That Mohammad Hafeez over going for 5. I suspect we're going to see him again very shortly. But yeah, it's quite unusual, isn't it? As we've seen Liam Livingstone, as you say, express himself, play that huge knock in Nottingham, albeit in vain, and a very dominant innings in Leeds as well. He's down to come in at number 7. Yeah. Scandalous.
Yeah, and you've got Ben Stokes to come back and everything is firing. Oh dear.
Well,
this is a youngster.
There's a young man who's run onto the field.
He's a little one. He looks what, 13, 14? Oh, he's had a slip.
Oh dear. Well, young man, you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, he's a little one. He went for a hug, didn't he, to Imad, Wasim?
And Imad just kind of held his hands up as to say, no.
We're in a pandemic, mate.
No. Absolutely not. Certainly not behaviour we condone.
Is the umpire going to make him a little sanitise? He said he didn't touch him.
Yeah. Imad Wasim in that fine leg inside the circle. Now then, after that little delay, we're going to get back into the action. Usman Qadir in for his final over. He's got figures of 1 for 30 so far. Came back well after being swept all over the place by Jason Roy. He's got a slip in place as well as he comes into Jonny Bairstow. Lots of flight given on the leg stump though. Flicked into the leg side by Bairstow for a single. 100 comes up for England. 100 for 2.
I was just going to say, sorry, Shadab. First of all, well done to England. 100 for 2. They look comfortable at the crease at all stages of this match. And just looking at 2 overs left from Shadab Khan, who I felt has looked the most effective all round.
Still to come.
I don't think you want to leave him too late into the game where England have won it. I think you get in where you can.
In comes Usman Qadir once again. Lots of flight given this time. Attempted a reverse sweep. Didn't get a hold of it, Malan. Under edges. And there's no run. The sun is setting here in Manchester. Is it also setting on the hopes of Pakistan?
What a line.
Not bad. Not bad. 55 required.
You should work in entertainment.
Well, you know, I've tried. In comes Usman Qadir now. Lots of flight given again. This time the ball takes an outside edge. It goes to that short third fielder. And they run through for a single. Imad Wasim very deep on the circle there. And Babar will be very displeased. He's been yelling at his fielders today. You don't see him that expressive very often. He's really been yelling at his fielders, trying to prevent those singles from happening. This England batting lineup doesn't give up. He's still got Moeen Ali to come. Liam Livingstone, as we've said. Eoin Morgan. Gather in now. And the ball turns sharply. My word.
Babar is not happy. He's just bowled a beauty of a delivery past the outside edge, and he's still moaning. He's not happy with the performance of his side.
Well, it's just gone a long way. It pitched just outside off and turned so sharply, almost past the wide line. Rizwan's done brilliantly to keep it in the end. Gather in once again. This one's a bit straighter, a bit fuller. Jonny Bairstow pulls out the reverse sweep. And they take a single to Hasan Ali, a deep backward square. And that, well, 2 deliveries to come, 1 delivery to come in this over. 102 for 2 now, England. Just taking their time here, England, not being belligerent or over-attacking, just trying to play the situation. They've got all the time in the world to make this happen. Pakistan knows the game isn't quite out of their grasp yet. In comes Abdul Qadir, and that's a fuller delivery. He's been lifted over the covers and is racing away to the extra cover boundary. Hasan will come round. Some ironic cheers from the crowd there as he gathers the ball. The batters get back for 2. I called him Abdul Qadir. That's, of course, his father's name, Usman Qadir, completing his 4-over stint. Back in the side today. 1 for 35 for him. England, 104 for 2. They need 51 more from 42 deliveries to win this game. Ebony Rainford Brent, you're on the spot. Are they going to do it?
England?
Yes.
I think England are going to cruise this, I have to be honest. It's the quality of the batting that come. It's the shot options they have. They seem to have a good range more. The sweeps are coming out. The angles that they play into those deep pockets are coming out. So all round it's just felt they've been untested a lot.
Pakistan persisting with spin here. Imad Wasim coming back into the attack. He's bowled 3 overs, none for 20 so far. 9 dot balls in that as well. Some more festive music being played here at Old Trafford. The crowd enjoying themselves. Well, I would say half the crowd enjoying themselves. Half a little bit nervous about possibly impending defeat. Jonny Bairstow, he's got 5 from 6 so far. He's on strike. In comes Imad, bit shorter. Bairstow attempts the cut shot, can't get a hold of it. Backward point in. No run. Bairstow practicing a similar shot. Imad Wasim will take it though. A dot in these circumstances. All day long. In comes Imad now to Jonny Bairstow. Bairstow has a big shot. It's gone high up in the air. The fielder extra cover getting underneath there. Takes the catch. Sohaib Maqsood makes no mistake. There is a twist in the tail. Jonny Bairstow has given Pakistan hope. Looking for the big shot. Miscuing. Catch taken. England 104 for 3.
Excellent seam position there from Imad Wasim, who just comes with that left arm round, got a little bit out the surface and the outside edge. I have to say I was nervous because Sohaib Maqsood was not moving like an athlete. He was just kind of drifting back casually like he was on a holiday or something, and then finally got his hands up and took the catch. That was an important catch because if there is something to turn, it is now.
Yeah, it had to be then. And Imad Wasim delivers for his team. And brings to the crease England's player of the match from the second IT20, Moeen Ali. He's got a job to do here just to get England over the line. A little bit of a challenge. You'd still fancy England here. 51 required from 40. Loads of time. Loads of time.
Look at you. You're just calming everyone down, saying it's okay. Although if there's one more wicket, all of a sudden everything's going to get tetchy. Well, the sun is just starting to drift down below the horizon. And this game could heat up. The tunes are cooking.
Yeah.
Feeling these.
It's a great atmosphere here at Old Trafford. It's rivaling Leeds. It's rivaling Birmingham. It's rivaling Nottingham. It's just been a wonderful 6-match tour for Pakistan. The support, the live crowd. This same team came here last year, played in front of an empty stadium. They can't fault their supporters this time around. The noise is picked up, the air horns are going. 104 for 3, England need 51 from 40. Dawid Malan on strike. And Imad Wasim begins his run in towards him. Lots of fly given, the ball turns past the outside edge.
through to Rizwan.
Hello. Okay, I was saying it's Shadab Khan. Well, Imad Wasim has come in straight away. It's the angle of the seam for me that's working. He bowls at a good pace, then gets it off the surface to really rev and fizz. That one went right through the gate.
Well, Imad Wasim fired up here. And he comes now to Dawid Malan, who pulls out the reverse sweep. He executes beautifully. It's gone really fine. Racing away towards the boundary. It will get there. Well, that'll take some pressure off for England. 47 required now, 38 balls. England 108 for 3.
This is what Malan does so well, doesn't he? I mean, there's a reason why he's consistent with the runs, is that he really reads the angles. He reads the situation there. He thought, let's play a low-risk option that can get me a boundary. Fine paddle comes out. Really nice.
Imad Wasim just taking a moment, having a chat with his captain, trying to get his field exactly right. I have to say, this is the most animated and involved I've seen Babar Azam for a long time. They know they've got a sniff here, Pakistan. Roy and Buttler threatened to take the game away from them. But they're still in with a little chance here as Imad Wasim comes in. Good length ball, beats the outside edge of Dawid Malan. Well. 108 for 3 the score. 1 ball to come in the 14th over.
They've got to back this up at the other end for me with Shadab. I think these two have looked the standout.
In comes Imad once again. The reverse sweep comes out once again. It drops just short of Mohammad Hafeez at that short fine leg position. Single taken. Malan will keep the strike. He's got 17 of 18. Moeen Ali yet to face. England 109 for 3. They need 46 from 36. You'd still fancy them to get there, but feels like it's not quite going to be straightforward. Zabani Rainford Brent is going to take a little break. Jimmy Anderson back alongside me. Jimmy, England have looked good here, but just a little bit shaky right now.
Yeah, just taking the wrong option. A couple of I look at Jason Roy and Jonny Bairstow's dismissal and think, do they need to do that at that stage of the game? But that's the way this England team play. They're aggressive. They want to get on with it. You think that, we knew the spin of Pakistan was going to be the difficult bit in this sort of the middle overs of this innings, and it's proving to be that.
Mohammad Hafeez has come into bowl again. He's going to bowl a second over. He's not bowled very often for Pakistan of late. It's been a very long time. Crunch situation. And he comes now to Dawid Malan. Cramps him for room. Dot ball. There's some cheers around the ground for the dots now. It's going to be a bit like that, with England needing 46 of 35. What a dramatic finish to what's been a massively entertaining series. Hafeez in once again, bit straighter this time. Malan works it into the leg side. They run through for a single. There's an opportunity at the non-strikers, and throw doesn't connect. Malan makes it. England 110 for 3. 45 required of 34 balls as Moeen Ali feels like he's been out there for an age, Jimmy. He's only just taking his guard.
Yeah, he's not had the strike for a bit, so we want to feel a few bat and ball first to try and get the pace of this wicket.
In comes Hafeez now. Lots of flight given. Moeen just pushes to extra cover. Another dot ball from Hafeez. He just managed to put the brakes on a little bit here, Mohammad Hafeez. 6 of his first 9 deliveries so far. And he comes again now. Again cramping Moeen Ali for room, who can just work it wide of the fielder at mid-wicket. They take a single. England 111 for 3. 42 required from 32 balls. We'll keep bringing that equation to you. It's very dramatic. There's a tension that's fallen over Old Trafford. A beautifully illuminated Old Trafford with the floodlights lighting up this ground. In comes Mohammad Hafeez now. Shorter this time and cut by Dawid Malan. Out to the man sweeping in the covers. Single taken. Mohammad Hasnan made no mistake. He's already made one embarrassing misfield today. They want to make extra careful with every opportunity. 1 ball to come in the 15th over. Mohammad Hafeez is going to come into Moeen Ali. He bowls Moeen Ali down the ground. He's bowled him! Mohammad Hafeez has bowled Moeen Ali. Pakistan are right back in this game. Well, just as you thought twist in the tail. This count from the arm of Mohammad Hafeez. Moeen Ali going for a big strike down the ground. He misses it. England 112 for 4. 5 overs to go. 43 runs required. Jimmy Anderson, how tight is this game? Tell me. And then you're going to be joined by Charles Dagnall.
Yeah, that's very Moeen Ali-like. That shot looked quite ungainly. Came down the pitch, looking to hit over the top. It's just that the lack of spin actually did for him that time. It skidded on underneath his swinging bat. Cannons into middle stump. It brings Eoin Morgan to the crease, which should settle the nerves of England supporters. Getting the captain out there, his experience, his quality, having him come in at number 6 in this batting lineup could well save the day for England.
Well, it's a completely different complexion on the game now. It's a cluster of wickets, and now England yet to see Liam Livingstone appear as well. Still in the hutch. Eoin Morgan, the captain, coming out to join Dawid Malan. 112 for 4, 43 required off 30 deliveries. Pakistan faithful in the crowd making themselves heard, and why not? Shadab Khan is returning to the attack. He's bowled 2 overs, 1 for 18. What a time for him to return. Malan 19 from 21. Almost all under artificial light now. Pocket of Pakistan supporters waving their flags and chanting in the party stand to our left-hand side. Shadab starts a new over, tosses it up. Malan drives straight to the fielder at extra cover, no run. 42 to win from 29. The field, deep point, long off. Long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. Shadab skips away, a little wider this time, and Malan tries to cut the ball, doesn't connect, and into the grateful gloves of Mohammad Rizwan. 43 from 28. Balls ticking away, runs aren't. Shadab close to the stumps, and now he'll get a run, working it through the mid-wicket region. Malan thought about a second, but not with the on-rushing fielder Fakhar Zaman coming in from mid-wicket. It'll just be 1. And that's all they've managed to achieve off the first 3 deliveries of this over. 42 from 27. And now Morgan on strike.
Yeah, you can see the tension just in the Pakistan fielders as well. A little bit of sort of, obviously energy, but it just a bit of tension.
There's an effervescence about them, isn't there? A bit of fizz in the body language.
I quite like Rizwan behind the stumps, just trying to calm everyone down. They've got it under control. Let's just calm things down.
Morgan takes his time and now is ready to wait for Shadab. His first delivery, he punches through the leg side. They think about the second again, but Babar Azam leading by example, coming in from mid-on, and will restrict it to 1. The Green faithful are on their feet applauding. It's a vital over. Only 2 runs conceded so far. 41 from 26. Shadab. Quick glance to his captain and he's off again. Past umpire Milnes, and this is an appeal for a leg before wicket which gets cut off in its prime against Malan. The ball turning back into the left-hander, but another dot ball churned out. 41 from 25. England made a fabulous start through Jason Roy and Jos Buttler. As Shadab bowls once more and Malan works this through the mid-wicket region again. Now Fakhar Zaman's coming in. They're going to have to be quick. The throw is weak though. It's accurate, but the throw wasn't strong. And it allowed Malan to come back for a second run. But overall, that is a very fine over from Shadab. Only 4 runs coming from it. The equation with 24 balls left is that England need 39 runs to win.
Yeah, very good over. Considering his first 2 overs went for 18, just 4 off that one. I think that we're sort of seeing why there are question marks about Dawid Malan against spin. You know, he's not as free-flowing maybe. Yeah. He struggles to just work it into those gaps and can get tied down at times against spin. And we've seen that a little bit tonight, and I feel like the emphasis is going to be on Eoin Morgan. If England are going to get close to this, Eoin Morgan needs to come to the party.
Are you a little surprised not to have seen Livingstone?
To be honest, I'd want my two experienced players coming in, 5 and 6, Moeen Ali, Eoin Morgan. I think you need experience. Yeah, I think you need experience in this stage of the game.
Understood. Mohammad Hafeez, it is, from the James Anderson end towards us with this skiddy off spin. A reverse attempted by Eoin Morgan. Hafeez appealing for leg before wicket, but in conversation with Mohammad Rizwan, maybe getting a little bit overexcited. That said, another dot ball. England not knocking these runs off quickly enough. It's 39 from 23. Morgan surveys the scene in front of him as he waits for Hafeez, who tosses one up, and a reverse sweep played by Morgan. Doesn't get all of it, and it just trickles down to Imad Wasim at short third man, and a single taken. 38 from 22, 117 for 4. Short third man, backward point, almost like a deep gully on the ring. Extra cover, short fine leg. They're the four fielders inside the circle. All the rest of them on the boundary edge as Malan makes room for himself, drives hard, but only as far as extra cover. Another dot ball, and now the pressure firmly on England. Pakistan rising to the occasion here. They're restricting, they're strangling England here. There's no get-out shot for them. Hafeez bowls short, pulled away by Malan, and that is the get-out shot England needed. It goes to the boundary for 4 at deep mid-wicket, bisects the fielders at deep backward square, and cow corner, and a welcome boundary. 34 from 20 is what's needed by England, just dropping a fraction short.
Yeah, they needed that. I think England needed that, and Dawid Malan needed that. He's really struggled getting the ball away in the last few overs, so to get that sort of short length and rock back and be able to pull it through the mid-wicket region, I think that's really helped. Didn't quite time it, but got enough on it to go for 4.
Placement girders. Hafeez bowls, and forward comes Malan, punching it through the offside. Will just get a single out to long off, and brings Morgan back on strike. 33 to win from 19. England 122 for 4. Morgan more than happy to take his time, just wandering over towards square leg, and now ready to face up to Hafeez, who shuffles past umpire Wharf, and this is carved away by Morgan, short of a length. It's a really well placed shot from Morgan. Clever cricket from the England captain. Looked to come forward, then shuffled back, made room for himself on the leg side, and hammered it through the offside to the boundary for 4. And a much needed boundary at the back end of the 17th over. England 126 for 4. 18 balls remain. They need 29 runs.
Yeah, that's released the pressure there. You'd expect England, as a team, you'd expect to get 10 and over in the last 3 minimum.
Yeah.
So they're in a decent position. It's just whether this pitch is getting a little bit more tricky to score on, a little bit too slow. Seeing Hasan Ali come back into the attack, he's going to use those change-ups that he used so successfully earlier on, taking the pace off the ball.
Yeah, his 2 overs have cost just 9. Shadab has another over to bowl. Mohammad Hafeez has another over to bowl. Shaheen, Shah, Afridi, another option. There's 3 overs remaining. Hasan Ali has been given the task from the Brian Statham end. He loves the big occasion. Just watching him warm up down below as he's hurtled the ball towards Shadab Khan in his warm-up. No problems getting loose for Hasan Ali. He then has a chat with Shadab, who pats him on the backside, as Shaheen, Shah, Afridi and Babar Azam also in conversation, allowing Hey Jude to ring round Old Trafford. Stewards in their white bibs line the boundary edge, cracking up to a grandstand finish here on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra. Hope you're enjoying wherever you're listening to this, as Malan waits now for Hasan Ali, who'll come round the wicket. Right arm quick bowler, change up first up. The quick hesitation between Malan and direct hit would have been interesting. It's shy at the non-striker's end, doesn't connect, and Malan is through for a single. But there was just a moment where the conversation was a little bit skewed between Malan and Morgan. Hesitation in the middle of the track, But all is safe for England as they pick up a single, and it's 28 to win from 17.
You'd think they'd have a better understanding than that, the years they had together at Middlesex. But a bit of confusion. I think at this stage, with the fielder, all the fielders are on the edge of the circle. So if you get bat on it, it's got to be a single. You've got to just set off, get your head down and get to the other end.
Mid-off is up inside the circle. There's a deep third man. Fine leg is up as Hasan Ali goes round the wicket. Picked up beautifully by Malan. Has he got enough on it? Is he going to be caught? It's 6! Fabulous shot from Morgan. Round the wicket came Hasan Ali. He darted the ball in towards his leg stump. It wasn't quite Yorker length, and just a flick of the wrist from Morgan sends it sailing over the head of deep backward square. Only by millimetres, but just enough. 6 runs to England, 133 for 4, and now it's 22 from 16.
Yeah, a shot we've seen a lot from Eoin Morgan over the years. Holding the bat right at the top of the handle, just flicks the wrists. Gets the length and line that he likes, sort of angling down the leg side. He can just flick the wrists and help it on its way. Gets enough of it just over the deep square leg fielder.
I didn't see the speed of what Hasan bowled, but to me that looked like a full pace delivery. And as you were mentioning, I just wonder if we'll see another one.
It was a full pace delivery, and goes into the slot as we see on the lines given on the pitch on our TV.
Hasan Ali then round the wicket, and this is a bottom edge from Eoin Morgan, and it trickles through. Is it hit his pad? Maybe. Mohammad Rizwan was asking a question of umpire Milnes. He firmly shook his head, and it's a dot ball. 22 from 15.
Yeah, that was the off-pace ball, the off-cutter. And Eoin Morgan, early on the shot, just catches the toe of the bat. It's good. That's clever bowling after a wayward delivery of the ball before. He follows it up with a really good one to get himself back into the over.
133 for 4, 22 to win from 15 as Hasan Ali strides away from us down the leg side. It should be signalled wide as Moeen Morgan advanced down the pitch, but perhaps it just flicked a pad. It maybe did, because there's no signal from umpire Milnes. And a very welcome dot ball for Pakistan. Remains 133 for 4, 22 to win from 14 deliveries. Hasan Ali inspects the ball, gives a little rub between the hands, shirt untucked, open-toed as he wanders back to his mark, looks at his field. He moves deep mid-wicket a little squarer, only by a couple of yards. He's ready to go again, shirt bellowing as he runs away from us. Short, slower pace delivery, an excellent delivery from Hasan Ali as Morgan was through the shot before the ball had reached him, and it bobbles through to Rizwan. Yet another dot ball. 22 to win from 13. This series deserved a finish such as this. There's been some cracking cricket played in the first 2 T20 internationals. Firstly at Trent Bridge, where Liam Livingstone blazed it around, as did Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. Pakistan victorious on that day at Headingley. Josh Buttler provided the pyrotechnics, as did Moeen Ali, and Livingstone again, as England managed to get one back. It's 1-1. This is the decider. Morgan is all the way over to off stump. He's picked this up. It's gone a long, long way. Has it got the legs? Yes, it does. For 6. Over deep mid-wicket. Again, it was in the Morgan slot. Very similar shot to what we saw the previous 6. But this time, it's gone a little bit straighter. And such a good pickup from the England captain. What a way to finish the 17th, the 18th over. England 139 for 4. They require 16 to win, and there's 12 balls in which to get them.
Yeah, he's just changed the angle there. He came over the wicket for that last ball after bowling 5 around the wicket. I'm not sure the reasoning for that. He bowls the slower ball again, the off cutter. This time gets it too full, right into that Morgan slot again. And he times those so well in that area.
They're such an easy pickup, Jim.
It is an easy pickup. It's an easy shot for someone of his quality. It's a poor delivery. It is a poor delivery, but you've got to give it to. You've still got to make that connection. Got to give it to Morgan. It was at this stage of the game with the pressure on. That was a fantastic shot, and it really relieves that pressure that England were under.
Well, Malan, 28 not out of 30 deliveries. Morgan is 18 off 9, and now Mohammad Hafeez has the ball. I'm sure there was a long discussion as to who would bowl. Shadab would have come into the equation. Shaheen, Shah, Afridi. And we'll let this play out. The flames firing up in perfect rhythm with the crowd. 16 from 12. First delivery from Hafeez is edged by Malan, just too short third man. It'll be a single to Imad Wasim. Gets Morgan back on strike. 15 to win from 11.
Yeah, I think they'll be hoping to...
Another person has come on the pitch. That's our third.
I think they'll be trying to get some dot balls on Dawid Malan there. That's why Hafeez has bowled, but getting off strike first ball. And so Eoin Morgan back down there, and he's a stronger player of spin, so you'd expect Eoin Morgan to try and... I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to finish it as over, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's usually the form in T20 cricket, isn't it? They try and finish it by the 19th, or at least get as close as they possibly can, so there's much less pressure on the final 6 deliveries. It's 15 to win from 11. The culprit has been grabbed and firmly marched off. 140 for 4. Beautiful colours in the sky now, rich blues and pinks and purples. Greys over in the distance, flags hanging limp on the top of the pavilion. Everybody on the point balcony peering over, trying to get as best a view as they possibly can as the traffic wanders slowly by on the Talbot Road behind the pavilion. England flags draped across the railings on the Hilton Hotel on the far side of the ground, and Hafeez is ready. Round the wicket he comes. Morgan tries a big hack across the line. It just catches a pad or perhaps a little bit of an edge, and it skews down to Imad Wasim at third man. Inside the ring, it'll just be a single. 14 to win from 10.
Pretty good over this so far. Good start to it. Anyway, the first 2 balls, I think they'll take that. Pakistan, 2 singles. I think they feel like they need a wicket just to really get themselves back into this game.
Malan on strike. Waits for Hafeez. Bowls a slightly slow delivery. Down the ground comes Malan. Hammers it away, but it only finds the fielder at long on. Oh, and a sloppy bit of work. I think it's Shaheen, Shah, Afridi as well. He allowed the ball to bobble a couple of times. Was too slow to pick it up and throw it in, and he chastises himself on his way back to his mark as he allows England to go through for 2. 12 to win from 9. Malan waits for Hafeez. Comes in, and Morgan with his bat firmly in his crease as Hafeez stopped in his run-up. Just making sure, keeping Morgan honest, and he was. Hafeez once more. Flatter deliveries, bowled Malan! Going back to try and cut it. It skidded on and clattered into leg stump, showing all 3 to the bowler. And Malan has to depart. The wicket that James Anderson called for has been achieved by Mohammad Hafeez. It's been a very good over, and maybe that bit of sloppy fielding from Shaheen, Shah, Afridi has played into Pakistan's hands. Malan goes. It's the 5th English wicket. 143 for 5 now. A valuable wicket, a valuable dot ball. England required 12 off 8, and the new man coming to the crease as though the script was written for Lancashire to try and win it at his home ground. The man who was impressed and starred throughout this T20 international series with a little bit of swagger to his walkout is Liam Livingstone, as though there's no pressure.
I think he's one of those guys that the more pressure there is, the more swagger comes out. I mean, he's taking his time getting to the crease.
He's sauntered to the crease, and he's just looked his captain in the eye, given him a little fist bump, and Malan won't be there at the end. So Livingstone going through a couple of shadow shots. 12 to win from 8. It is. Morgan is captain at the non-striker's end. It's been an impressive over from Mohammad Hafeez. Vastly experienced cricketer He's got long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, deep cover. Short third, short fine, cover point, extra cover and mid-wicket. Around the wicket comes Hafeez to Livingstone. He smashes this a long, long way into the party stand it goes. First ball, right the script. Liam Livingstone has taken one ball to get his eye in and completely topple this game on its head, way back into the party stand, 20 rows or so. The cleanest of strikes, and now it's single figures for England, 6 to win from 7.
I almost said when he came to the crease he'll be thinking about doing this in 2 balls. 12 to win. He's so confident in his own ability, he'll be thinking I can finish this in 2 balls, and exactly that. First ball, huge shot out to mid-wicket, huge, and how well he's timed it as well for your first ball. Just incredible confidence.
Hafeez over the wicket this time, and Livingstone tries to hack this away. He's going to get caught. He is at third man. He tried to smash it in 2 balls, you called it. However, the second wasn't as successful as the first. Caught by Sohaib Maqsood at short third man, and Hafeez picks up the wicket. 149 for 6. It's 6 from 6. I wonder if what went through Livingstone's mind is that Eoin Morgan is on strike for the start of the final over, so he might as well have a dart at trying to finish it.
Yeah, potentially, but he's been outfoxed by the experience of Mohammad Hafeez. He's just dragged that ball a little bit shorter, a little bit wider, making Livingstone reach for the ball. He's trying to play the same shot, that slog sweep that went so far into the stands the last ball. He changed his angle as well. He came over the wicket, that ball, dragged it wider, and all he can do is get an outside edge, pop up an easy catch to backward point.
So Chris Jordan comes to the crease. 149 for 6. It's 6 required of 6 deliveries. Normally, the batting side, you would take 9 times out of 10 in this particular situation. But a full house at Old Trafford, the pressure on, series at stake. Hold on to your hats, folks. Hasan Ali it will be, who got the treatment a couple of times in the previous over from Eoin Morgan. The calmest man on the field seems to be the England captain. Hasan getting his field just right. I'll take you through it. There's a deep point. Long off, long on, deep mid-wicket, deep backward square. Third man and fine leg up inside the circle. There is a deep gully, I'd say, on the gully line inside the circle, and an extra cover. Here's Hasan, 6 from 6. Morgan hacks this high in the air. The bowler's underneath it. Will Hasan Ali take the catch? No, he won't. It slips through his fingers, and England come through for 2. If Morgan could have mishit that any better and place it any better, I'd be astounded. It's gone into a massive area of space where there was no fielders, and it was the bowler's catch. It was a steepler. It was tough for for Hasan Ali, but it slides through his fingers, and England will pick up 2. It's 4 from 5.
The fact that he's actually got a hand on that, I am so impressed with, because he's finished his follow through as he's bowled, and the ball has ended up on the edge of the 30-yard circle at mid-wicket. So he's made up all that ground as the ball's in the air, managed to get a finger on it, but he just couldn't quite steady himself under it as he got there. But an unbelievable effort.
It really was. I mean, there was no way that he should have. It was such a tough ask for him. Here's Hasan Ali then, 4 to win from 5. Short, pulled by Morgan. Has he pulled it for 6? No! Shadab's underneath it and takes the catch! The England captain goes. Hasan Ali celebrates with his classic outstretched arms. He's pumped up. Pakistan are, as are the supporters. Morgan tried to finish it with a flourish. It could only go down the throat of Long On, and Shadab Khan pouches an easy catch. And yet again, a late twist, a wicket, a dot ball. 4 from 4. David Willey comes out to join Chris Jordan.
Yeah,
it's bonkers.
Trying to finish it in style. Going for the big shot. Gave himself room outside the leg stump. Came down the wicket a touch as well. Brilliant bowling from Hasan Ali. Drags it into the pitch. Follows him. tucks him up for Morgan. Morgan gives himself room to try and free his arms so he can have a free swing through the ball. But he tucks him up with the length and line that he bowls, and he can only manage to get it 3/4 of the way to the mid-on boundary. And I think at some stage they're just going to try and do it in singles, surely. But it's going to be interesting to see what Jordan does here. I can't imagine he's going to do the same thing and try and finish it with a big one.
No. I think now we'll see a little bit more. I don't know. To be honest, I've stopped guessing. Such has been the nature of this final 3 overs. 4 to win from 4. Jordan on strike. Floodlights beaming down here at Old Trafford. Still don't know which way this is going to go. Fabulous series. Pakistan have never won a T20 international series against England. Is tonight their night? Hasan Ali strides away from us to Jordan, who gets tucked up and inside edge skews past short fine leg. They may get the second run here. They do. That's worked out well. Not where Jordan intended at all, but he'll take it. As a couple of runs goes on to England's total. 153 for 7. 2 to win from 3. We have the option of a super over.
Fantastic.
Just letting you know.
That's well bowled up from Hasan Ali. He's getting a little bit of tail back into the right-hander. He's bowling quick as well. Jordan manages just to get an inside half onto it and sort of squeeze it away through the leg side for 2.
What's your ball? Slow ball, Yorker?
I think you've got to go stumps. You've got to go stumps at this stage.
Quick and straight.
Quick and straight.
Jordan waits, almost gearing himself up. He's ready for Hasan Ali, standing up straight. Hasan bowls, it's full and straight, another inside edge. Now Rizwan is herring after that. Will Jordan come back for the second? Is this the run that'll get England victory? It is indeed. Thick inside edge for Jordan, and he's bouncing with joy. David Willey, the non-striker, comes to meet him. It went down towards fine leg. Mohammad Rizwan was herring after it, but there was no way he could cut off the second run. Flames fly up over in the distance to celebrate England's win. They managed to win with 2 balls remaining by 3 wickets, but a scintillating evening's cricket. Tension, atmosphere, noise. It's been raucous, and it's been a night to remember here at Old Trafford, James Anderson.
Yeah, it certainly has. Great to have a full house back here at Old Trafford, and what a game as well for them all to witness. Just some brilliant cricket all the way through on a difficult surface. Definitely got harder to bat on as the game went on. Credit to both teams, they've put on a fantastic spectacle, and England doing very well just to squeeze home late doors. But an exciting finish and what everyone wanted.
Goodness me, breathless stuff it is. As the two teams, well, Pakistan make their way after shaking hands with the umpire, Chris Jordan and Hasan Ali just in conversation. But it has been a fabulous night's cricket, just what you wanted to finish off a series. But England take the series by 2 matches to 1, Ellie.
Thank you very much indeed, Charles Dagnall, James Anderson. As the sun is now set behind the post box over the other side of the ground and the party stand, I mean, it's been an amazing game of cricket. And what a way to end this white ball series, really, with the World Cup on the horizon as well. And just the proof that England have that strength in depth squad-wise as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think a brilliant finish to the white ball summer. I think the fact that England have been put under pressure in these 3 games by a quality Pakistan team, that will serve them really well going forward ahead of that World Cup in the winter. You know, seeing how these guys cope with pressure, you know, trying to knock those runs off on a difficult surface against quality bowlers. I think that'll help Eoin Morgan and Chris Silverwood when they come to picking that squad, and it'll also help the players, having been in that pressure situation ahead of a World Cup where you're going to probably come under even more pressure.
And when you can see Eoin Morgan coming out and attacking straight away and hitting a couple of sixes, and then Liam Livingstone coming out, I mean, what an innings that was, 6 and out.
Yeah, well, it shows the confidence of the person in Liam Livingstone, but it also shows what sort of team Eoin Morgan's trying to build. He's trying to instill this confidence in all the players, allow them to go out and play like that, play with freedom, and trust their instincts. So, as I said to Charles on commentary, Liam would have gone out there thinking, I can finish this in 2 balls, and that's exactly what he tried to do. And Eoin Morgan would have said, yeah, you go for it. If you think you can do it in 2 balls, you do it in 2 balls. And he almost did it. He hit an amazing shot first ball for 6, a huge 6. Didn't quite execute the next shot as well. But again, he'll learn from that experience. I'm sure he'll probably do the same again if he got in that situation. But he might choose to do it slightly differently with a different shot.
What do you make of Dawid Malan, Daggers, with, because number 1 T20 batsman in the world at various points, and he's not really proved himself in this series up till now, but that 31 just seemed like it was kind of like a little core of the innings in a way.
Yeah, it was 31 from 33. There's 2 schools of thought here. Now, the way that he will turn around and say, well, the situation dictated that, and there is another school to think, well, maybe that actually put pressure on the other batsman at the other end from him to do perhaps something a little bit more forceful. Look, we've all got our opinions on whether he should be in or whether he should. When I look down this England side and I see Jason Roy and Josh Buttler and Jonny Bairstow and Eoin Morgan and Moeen Ali and Liam Livingstone, because I think he has played himself into the World T20 tide, no doubt, because he offers so much. He offers you with the ball, both leg spin and off spin. He's brilliant in the field, and he can smash the ball out of the park, and he can change a game for you. So there's 6. I've not mentioned, Ben Stokes is in there as well. How are you going to get him in? And then there's Chris Wokes, and then there's Jofra Archer, and etc. And so I find it, should he be within the England squad? Of course he should. He's number 1 for a reason, and he's got an amazing record. Do I think that he would be part of the first 11 if England were selecting everybody who was fit and available to play for the first World T20 match in the UAE? I don't think he would be part of it. I think that lineup that I've just mentioned, I think, really doesn't have any place for Dawid Malan. He will argue differently, and quite rightly so. But I just think that England lineup is supersonically strong.
I personally think if we're having this conversation further down the line in 12 months' time, when the T20 World Cup's in Australia, it might be slightly different.
Yes, I agree.
If the T20 World Cup's in Australia, then Dawid Malan probably, for me, gets into that 11. But the fact is, this particular World Cup this year is in the UAE, where we're going to probably see lots of spin, and I just feel like he doesn't get into the best top 6 players of spin in English cricket.
I'll answer another one for you. Do I think he's still got a test career ahead of him, especially for the Ashes coming this winter? Yeah, massively, really do. And Jimmy's right on the quicker pitches where he can use use the pace and the touch that he has and his placement, which is very, very good. I think he's a different T20 cricketer, and I think that I would be surprised if we don't see him get in the mix in the test side for this summer against India. But in the UAE, and it is, England are happy to pick horses for courses in this particular, especially under Eoin Morgan. And I think in India, slower pitches, a lot more spin. I think the side that we see, or that I've mentioned, will probably get the nod, including those who have played a lot of Indian Premier League cricket. And, you go back to Bairstow and Roy and Buttler and Stokes and Morgan and Moeen, and I think they're the core that's going to take you through. And Liam Livingstone had a bit of time out at Rajasthan as well, but has been a franchise player in various different comps in the PSL as well. So I just think that in the UAE he doesn't get in.
And as far as your bowlers are concerned, Jimmy, how many spinners are you taking? And how many are you playing? Or do they just change it around depending on the teams they're playing and the different stages of the competition? Because there's so much choice, isn't there, potentially?
Yeah, there is. But I think we've seen tonight, I think Adil Rashid is number 1 on the team sheet for me. A fantastic bowler, wicket taker. Moeen Ali bowled brilliantly tonight, and I'd like to see him bowl more in white ball cricket for England. I don't think we've seen enough of him in recent times. Liam Livingstone bowled pretty well tonight, but I think he can also improve and do a job in those conditions. And obviously Matt Parkinson as well, who's had a fantastic summer, I think. His first full international summer, I think he's performed brilliantly. So those 4, I think, is plenty of options going forward to that World Cup.
Can they all play? Could Parkinson and Rashid and Moeen play?
It's just where do you bowl them? If you play all four, someone needs to bowl overs in the power play for me. You can't bowl
Archer Stokes. Jordan. I'm just wondering, given the conditions that they will face out in the UAE, I just wondered if that is a possible option for them.
Well, I think they've
got Livingstone, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you'd look to bowl. If you did that, you could bowl Moeen Ali in the power play. But then if you don't bowl spin in the power play, then you've got 14 overs where you're trying to fit four spinners in, so it doesn't really make sense to me. So you could play all of them, but I probably wouldn't.
And you've got to give credit to Pakistan in this series as well, the way that they have fought back from. They got a bit of a hammering in the ODIs, and they started off really slowly, and the way that it's picked up, I mean, they've really entertained us in the last couple of games.
You know what, they will have been hurting massively. I think you've got to also feel for them a little bit in that they've not been playing. The side that went out, they are a high class and world class side, and their white ball cricket over the last 5 years or so has just improved, and they've got the best player in the world in white ball cricket, along with Virat Kohli. But Babar Azam is just a ridiculously good white ball player, and they will have been hurting after the one-day international defeat, especially given that they were beaten against a second string, and I use that in inverted commas. You've got to also take into consideration that they've not played a huge amount of cricket, and that the players that were coming in for England in that second string had been playing county cricket and T20 Blast and international cricket elsewhere as well. So, it's a little unfair, but you would still expect a Pakistan side to have performed better in the one-day international series. In T20 cricket, I think they're a different animal. I really do. That partnership of Rizwan and Babar Azam up front, their spin bowling options, Shaheen, Shah, Afridi, for me, one of the best in the world. With in the power play and at the death, they've got a lot of weapons. Do Pakistan? I still think maybe sort of the area around about 5, 6, 7 can be worked on a little bit in the batting order, but overall, they and England have provided us with an enormous amount of entertainment over the last 3 T20 matches.
And we haven't seen the best of Babar Azam in this series, have we?
I mean, he was brilliant.
We had moments. We had moments. Well, at Trent Bridge, with the exception of Trent Bridge.
I mean, Trent Bridge, he was great. Obviously, we didn't see. He didn't quite seem himself today. I think he struggled with his timing a little bit. But what is great about that partnership is, and much as we've seen with Jason Roy and Jonny Bairstow, or Jos Buttler and Jason Roy, or Jonny Bairstow and Jos Buttler, when one is on and is seeing it well, the other one backs that player up absolutely fantastically. You kind of know and you realise whose day it is. And today was Mohammad Rizwan's day, and that's the way he played. And I thought he has played wonderfully well throughout the course of this series. But I think Babar Azam, you look at his age and you look at how he's playing, and I don't think we've seen him even peak yet. I really don't. I think there is so much more to come from him, and I think in all conditions around the world in T20 cricket, I think, again, along with Virat Kohli, I think he is, the supreme T20 batsman.
Are England going to win the World Cup, Jimmy?
Oh, I think they've got a great chance. They just, for me, the quality they've got throughout their squad is just as good, if not better, than anyone else in the world. So and also they've got players who know how to win tournaments now. After 2019, the bulk of this squad know what it takes to win a tournament and how to sort of pace yourself through a tournament. So I think we've got an absolutely fantastic chance. And yeah, as I said, they've got as good a chance in the UAE as they have in Australia. I think they've got the skills and the players to be able to perform in all conditions.
What do you think, Daggers? Where's your money? Come on then, put your money where your mouth is.
Obviously, conditions play a part, and within the UAE, I think England are up there. But due to the very nature of the game, one performance can win or lose a game from you, from one individual. They can have a good day, and that game could be completely done and dusted. You do look at the subcontinental teams in those conditions. You look at Pakistan, you look at India, and I think, and you know, you look at West Indies and their power hitters and the strength that they have. I don't necessarily fancy Australia. New Zealand are a blooming good side. Well, all of them, Ali, to be honest. I've not really given you, laid it down for you.
Who knows in T20 cricket as well?
Absolutely.
Because, you know, the margins are so fine.
And that is the crux of it. The shorter the game, the more close the sides get. But I think because of franchise cricket around the world and the nature of it, a lot of players, because they play together and they play in various teams together and they give their wisdom to each other as team, and a lot of knowledge is passed around all of these franchises, and so the game is getting closer, it's getting smaller, and the margins between sides are getting even tinier now. So, you know, England have got a great shot, but look out for India, Pakistan, New Zealand, others, and
yeah. And talking about short forms of the game, Jimmy, you're going to get your first experience of the 100 over the next couple of nights. Just very briefly, 100 balls. You know, if any of it matches up to what we've seen in this T20 series, it's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I think, you know, I'm personally looking forward to it. I mean, intrigued to see how it goes. I think speaking to the players, they're excited for it to start as well. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be entertaining. And I can't wait to watch the first game tomorrow night, which is Oval Invincibles women against Manchester Originals women.
It's going to be a great one. Having a chat to Alex Hartley about that a little bit earlier on, and I know they're really excited about it as well. Full coverage, of course, here on the BBC of the 100. I hope we've whetted your appetite as well for that here on 5 Live Sport and 5 Live Sports Extra tonight. So for listeners on 5 Live, the first events of the Olympic Games in Tokyo get underway tomorrow. The opening ceremony is not until Friday. We've got extensive coverage of the Games here on 5 Live. So it's the football starting tomorrow evening, the women's football. One of Team GB's potential medalists is diver Tom Daley, who's preparing for his 4th Olympics. Here he is in conversation with Amy Fuller in the Olympic Mile.
25 years ago,